into the chaos and maelstrom. Alright, let's see. And what's funny is RTS brain me is not exactly active fully right now. So this is great. Oh. Hello. Yeah. He kept saying blah, blah, blah.
So yeah.
But yeah, I'm not in RTS mode. As y'all know, I am prepping for the Dark Ages. And so, my brain is more in fast, boom, boom, shooty mode. Less about tactics.
Can we appreciate that that this guy's called Locust and he knows how to build an army, right? Sort of.
So y'all gonna be watching me fight for my Kislevian life today, as we try to keep the snow from being melted by all the fire coming from the north of corn, and also the weird green stuff growing in other parts of the snow.
In fairness, Arnold, orcs don't burn stuff. They chop
yeah, but the orcs aren't here yet. The best that's gonna be is, oh, we get to hear a bunch of things yelling that we can't see in the snow. Okay, that's not much better.
Yeah, how do you? So yeah, I asked you the other question. You said the Satan, right? But how do you spell the Satan?
Old ones in the thing we were talking about the old ones, but that's a whole nother discussion when it comes to Satans and the old ones and what I consider them.
Because I may have figured out something.
It's kind of vague.
I may have figured out something. In the Warhammer fight, because you said the old ones are the ones that created the Satan, aren't they?
It's one of the. It's along those lines. They're all connected to each other from the originals who created a lot of the species. Oh god. Okay. But what was I gonna say? But it's one of those things. Just technically, in general consensus, that. Just know that it all started with the old ones. They created most of the origin species that we see today. And those species branched off into other species or got halfway obliterated, depending on the situation and who they were and what part of the fight they were in. It's very it's deep, but it's also not well connected. Old ones are gods that make life, and Satans are gods. Yeah, so the Satans are the eaters of life. So technically, isn't it that the Krorks were made to fight the Satan, which the Satan are basically Necrons? Or would be eventually Necrons? Something like that. I have to go back and reiterate all of it. I do, but either way, point being, origin of all the species, and the Eldar just got caught in the crossfire. Poor them. They got the shittiest end of that stick besides the Krork.
Yes, they deserve it. They deserve it for being Eldar.
Although one could argue, that we're not going to go into theories tonight, but one could argue, now knowing what Farseer explained to me yesterday, I have even more theory leading to that if it were canon, I know it's not, but maybe it should be, is that the Chaos Gods were born of these great original conflicts with the original species. Because that was before the Dark Eldar existed. So one could argue... And it's many other things too. It's like what did you say? Wasn't there a oh yeah, Cain, right? The Eldar I feel like are more responsible for something and maybe got cursed more than I think they did. But that's a whole nother theory for another time. I actually am now leaning into that Khorne and Slaanesh both come from Eldar. And both come from Cain. I might actually be willing to admit that maybe, just maybe, and I shit you not, if these guys were smart writers, maybe they should be the same person. And what I mean by this is Cain versus Khorne. Because after I read and heard about what Cain literally did, and this is before the Chaos Gods were anything, and before anything was anything, Cain killed a god. So if Cain can kill a god, this means he himself is somewhat of already a god. Or at least maybe even demon god. I asked Farseer, the Laughing God existed during the War in Heaven. That's true too, right? The Laughing God is also older than the other gods too, technically. So one could argue maybe the gods of chaos aren't the original people that they are. Maybe they are older than we think, but their original identities weren't Khorne, Slanesh, Nurgle, and Zeech.
Or they could be the sons of the original gods. Or like descendants of
I mean,
them.
maybe like well, maybe like in Cain's case, maybe Khorne is the son of Cain. Maybe he was a son of Cain, like a direct descendant.
Yeah.
I could see that, but I don't know
Yeah,
because
because I can see, I can see
I mean, maybe
the
but,
chaos of the mind of the going laughing man.
I
I can
mean,
see that being part Zeech.
I mean,
Because of all,
maybe I don't know.
because of the shit of it is. Because think about it, if he's
It-
always laughing, he's always
Yeah, but
got
hold,
created chaos
but
and
hold on
giggling
though.
about.
But here's the thing: the laughing god isn't Zeech though. The laughing god is its own thing.
That's why I said part, not full.
Well, no. I'm talking about like he in his own right, even with this theory, would be his own thing because he's always existed. Like even during the old one's existences and Satan era, the laughing god was a thing. So I actually don't think that would be Zeech. In my theory, my biggest theory, I can't explain Khorne fully other than maybe he's Cain. Because here's the other thing that would make sense. I could play in that maybe Khorne is a son of Cain and that ended up becoming something else. Embracing the blood, magic, and death and carnage fully. But you can't explain Slanesh this way. Because Slanesh doesn't have children, and Slanesh wouldn't be the children of anything. There's nothing before Slanesh of what it became. Slanesh was one of its first. Zeech is kind of arguably the same logic. Nurgle as well. Because orcs were just mushroom-like people. So were the Kork. They're not Nurgle, though. Nurgle is actually infection, disease, made manifest and sentient. So, and one could argue maybe even his existence is, maybe out of all the gods, he truly is, or the Chaos gods, he truly is the closest to, like, being a true demon. Because he could have just been born from all the death. Like, legit, he could have just been born from the rotten decay of corpses molding together over time. Like any mold does.
So it could be born from a graveyard because that's what most mass graves are buried. Well,
I mean, maybe a graveyard
the-
specific. I mean, just the fact that just was so much death during that time. Like whole species died during that era.
Could be, yeah.
So that's a lot of bodies. So it's like Nurgle was probably made from the enslaver plague. That could be that too. That's true. There was a plague following the Great War in Heaven. So that could have been the birth of Nurgle. That could have been him in his early stages. But I also have my theory for Cain. I'm starting to lean more and more towards that maybe Cain is Khorne or comes from Cain. Khorne comes from Cain, can't talk. And then, once again, we all know where Slanesh was born. Slanesh was born from the great break of the Eldar, when they went two separate ways and created a deity out of pure strife and suffering and suffrage that sucks the very life out of their bodies. Literally. Both figuratively, literally, and jokingly. But once again, this would make sense. Think about how broken the Eldar were after the war in heaven. Think about how scattered they were. They got a very shitty end of that stick at the end of that war. Their species was fractured beyond all hell. So one could argue, and this also playing even more, you're gonna hate this is the last thing I'll say, playing even more into the Slanesh Khorne dynamic, how they're rivals but yet not rivals. Think about this. Would it not make more sense that Khorne and Slanesh, why they hate each other? Because they come from the same origin species? But they see things differently completely? One is just murderous unhingedness. The other one is wrath and...
Weirdly, I could see that be like siblings?
Well, it's like siblings. It's two of the same coin. Both believe in, no offense, taking other people's lives, let's put it that way in the nice way, as a honorable thing.
Blood for the blood god!
It's like, there's a reason why it says blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull thrones. He doesn't mean he's gonna treat you nicely as his enemy if you lose.
He's gonna get the hand and it's
It's
gonna
like,
go down
so
your throat.
it's like, so one could argue at the base heart of what Slanesh and Khorne is, they're both the same thing. They're both about strife and conflict and death through other means, like other hands, someone else, if you get what I mean. So
If Celestial Walker during the war in the heaven game would have one shot it. What up?
well,
What the hell is this
yeah, but
thing?
once again, it couldn't be born during that time because here's the other thing. Because if we're
That's
having
what I said if it was.
well, yeah, but we also have to argue, like, Slanesh might have already been a thing. For all I know, one of the Dark Eldar became Slanesh. Just out of the pure, pure... I don't know what the right word. Think of it that this one individual, whoever they may be, reveled in the strife of their people so much that they became the embodiment of it. And was birthed into Slanesh through the dark magics. That is Warhammer in general. So that the chaos gods supposedly come from and all that. But I do think that all of this dates back to the War in Heaven, and that the War in Heaven itself is the origin startup of what the real lore of Warhammer, to me, technically represents, or should represent, and not just go the kiddie route of, oh, they exist because they do. What? But yet there are gods more powerful than them that can wipe them out, yet you're just going to pretend they exist because they do. See, this is also would make why sometimes the Chaos gods are defeated by other gods and other things make more sense. Because it would make it play into, well, they weren't always gods, that's why. They're not pure, truly unadulterated, unstoppable beings. They were made into that. They became that. Through whether it would be war or whatever. I still believe Zeech is a Satan. Maybe even an old one, to be fair. I'll take it even a step further. Maybe he's not even Satan. Maybe he was a part of the old ones who created the Crooks. I don't know.
So it tells me to believe that. I reckon he was part of the old ones, but I think he served. I think he served under one because.
Well, no,
I was thinking
he
of
would
this,
definitely
like,
be
what?
one of the makers if that, as I'm gonna use a Doom term. He'd be one of the makers in this case because, like I said, I want to also point out what the Krork are, and I want you to tell me something, James, hearing this out loud. So, the Krork are a super intelligent, massive fungus-like creature who is super aggressive, steroided up, but super intelligent somehow. Love books, and also are. Really good at science. This is before the orc de-evolution that they had to suffer.
Yeah.
But think about that explanation I just gave you.
Would give them. It would make sense. So there would be part, yeah.
Also, tell me what breeds more madness than creating something that is hyper intelligent, hyper strong, but also biological? Yeah, see, look at the two differences of these pictures. The top one is a Krork. This is what the greenskins used to be like back in the ancient eras of the old ones. They were akin to space marines. Because they understood, they weren't just mindless war, rah, rah. They still liked that. They still enjoyed it. But they had control over it. Plus their designs made sense. Do you see anything exposed on this board, dude? Nothing.
No.
And and they're bigger. Because I want to point out how... Hold on, let me bring this picture back up real quick. Do you see that?
Darius, relax.
Do you see that Tyrant head back there from the Tyrannid? These things are massive. He's bigger than that. By a lot. It is like so... Yeah, look at this. Size versus Necrons. This is why they were created. This is what they used to be. But look at that picture, a perfect meld between biological and intelligence inside of a battle suit. But sparking on a sting, like they can run. Like this suit only works for the Krork. The Krork are more keen to what to me the demons are like in Doom, which we're going to touch on actually as an example when we go back to Doom for something coming up soon. Because I have found something dastardly beautiful that I was like, holy shit. And I did not understand it until I read it took me several takes when I finally got to this codex again and went, no way. So, more advanced than Space Marines armor, but either way. But anyways, we'll continue on. We'll talk more about that in the future, but yeah, it's a crazy thing. Krorks are insane. And like I said, we will be using them as an example to what I'm going to be talking about, the demons, and what they actually represent in the Doomverse when we play Dark Ages. Actually, we'll probably talk about it in Eternal when we do the DLC, and going towards what that's about. And then carry that on further when you get to see what they were actually capable of during the Dark Ages. And what they actually are. You're gonna laugh. Because it plays into something I always love about when games respect this. Remember what I said, what is the most dangerous species in all of existence?
A bird.
No. I meant realistically, humans. No, not well, maybe specifically there, but it's like
you can't say I'm not wrong.
But it's the play into something very unique. Now it's not direct cut and dry, and not every story needs this. Hint and point to it in anime I said terrible things about before starting, because it is a terrible anime, and it ruins a good franchise. But anyways, is some things you can get away with you need to have the scariest thing is humans, not necessarily the other thing. It's not as cut and dry in that. But then other stories don't need this. But Doom made this work beautifully. Because it didn't just throw it at you and make you have to believe it at face value. It actually explains what it is and what caused it. And then you go, oh, that makes sense. And things are better received that way when that happens. Anyways, we need to recruit more.
Yeah, I'm going back to face off my two armies I faced going in.
So we need Zargard, right? Oh, but these don't have pistols, right? The reason why I'm not getting rid of these guys fully is because these guys don't have pistols. If I change them to Zargards.
The blue birdman's on the move.
However, I did consider, wait a minute. I have nothing but pistols now, and these Kossars are good, but these are not going to hold up against anything if they get caught. So I think I'm going to sacrifice these in favor of more Zargards, just to protect the front line. I want to play with a theme right now and only play with sisters.
I had crap to be.
And only play with the sisters, but we don't have enough Ice Maiden type units or Ice Guards here, as you see. We only have these 3 variants right now. We don't have the others unlocked, or excuse me, 4 variants. So we need to work on that. So for now, yeah, I just think we're in such a nasty scenario. We need a better front line. We'll keep one of the archers. Which one's better? This one's the better one. So we'll keep this guy. But we do want one of these. We don't want dual wielders because we're going to save that for the sisters for both versions I'm going to have. So, for her army. So that's being recruited. What do we got here?
Well, oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't get it.
What?
Sangria.
Did you try that blueberry thing?
It has a funky taste. I had to wait till it got cold.
Oh.
Oh, 3 tiers so I can finally recruit. So
But, alright, once I end
by
my
tier
turn, I will be
30,
back.
Kairos has returned home.
Because I gotta pee. Use the restroom chat, so I'll be back in a minute once I end this turn. Oh, what?
And I'll take
Good
all
turn.
but 2
I
seconds.
haven't ended my turn yet.
Wait! We need to be
1
patient.
second, chat.
1. You like chat. Don't trust that, he lied. He said he was gonna be a second. He lied to you all. Don't trust him. Yeah.
It's been about 12.
Realistically, yes. Purple.
Yes.
Will you say, bitch?
What?
You sticking them up while you talk to me.
Oh.
Talk to me again, I'm out.
Mm. But hold on, chat. We'll be back in just a second. We are taking a quick break.
We are slowing down. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Leroy Jenkins or is it Jenkins Leroy? I don't know. Confused.
Right, close.
Let's see. Farseer said, I just want to add the Eldar became something akin to the Forerunners after the war. You gotta imagine what kind of weaponry the Eldar had after the war to beat Krork and force them to de-evolve into orcs. That's true too. But that was still probably during somewhat shortly after Kane's time and stuff. Like that was then where Eldar were still unified and stronger.
And peace.
And you know, not
And at war.
and not worshiping the purple. But
Everything's worse. The purple.
no, purple makes everything better. You can lie.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
I had purple to a bomb and it didn't work.
Well, you didn't do it right, clearly.
No, I always do everything right.
You didn't add enough boom.
Just that's my sighting, so I've just killed.
You didn't add enough boom to the boom.
I added ick level of acceptance.
Even he says that's not enough.
Well, he lied. He told me it was enough. So much green.
I hate that I can't build any buildings because we need this recruiting to be done. It is the top priority.
Welcome to my life.
None of us trying
Do
to
you know what the
survive
worst thing
right
is?
now.
You have problems building your buildings. I have problems just moving my armor because I forget how far I spent Kairos. That's not a euphemism for anything. I literally had to make him bully the lizards.
Make him or you decided to.
We always need to bully the lizards. The bullying of the lizards is great. The more we bully, the better we become.
What would they call him? Kairos has become akin to a doorbell and dash person. A person who doorbells your house and runs away.
Oh hell yes, he is. He's the knock-a-door run champion.
I forgot what it's called, but
I just said it.
that's not its actual term. There's another term for it. I almost wanted to say door dashing, but no, that's something else.
No, well, sorry, he is to deliver your food. Wrong person. Imagine that, you come up, you just get your food, and it's this giant fucking
Yeah.
bird.
I
Comes
mean,
there and goes,
I'll
wrong house, sorry sir.
I mean, I would at least be more accepting of a giant bird bringing my food than, you know, if I opened the door and some giant green-looking pus bag was holding the food. I'm like, yeah, I'm not eating that.
That way you open the say, are you like a Xeno? Because I want to burn you.
Bellicor,
We
why?
need DoorDash kiosks. Bellicor, why? Bellicor, you know what? I'm happy. Because Bellicor is
Wow, it's a
Bellicor.
close. You're wounded and still winning this. What's with all the Forsaken? Yeah, I don't know if the AI it's better, but there are still some units it does seem like it just doesn't. Like this could have been one type of melee infantry, and then and two of another that are more like special oriented. God dang, man.
Damn it! He has the best name for a hero, for a lord ever.
I'll give him
Damn it.
credit, at least where credit is due. At least the AI doesn't just do one type of unit anymore. But it does seem to still not quite understand comp in some ways. Better than
Dogs.
before, but not fully.
I'm annoyed.
Let's see, should have listened to Cain. He wanted to kill a good portion of the Eldar before the Cult of Pleasure started happening. He
Yeah,
sensed it.
look, no, we
See, you
need
know
to-
what's funny? Cain sensed it. He was like, no, 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 no. I don't want some weird obsession that's going to be obsessed with me when I become a crazy blood demon years later. Turns out he failed.
Yeah.
Because he didn't convince people enough that the Cult of Pleasure should have been annihilated. That's ironic. Oh, but alright. Oh, it's Darius' turn. I thought I was. To be fair, I thought it was my
No,
turn.
it goes
still.
Darius, me, then you.
Which we do need to speed run a little.
Arthur. Good
Yes.
job by Rouser super quick, because all I'm doing is moving my fucking units.
I mean,
Literally, that's
probably
all
have
I'm
nothing,
doing.
You're probably safe. You have nothing to worry about. You're just going around and slamming on people's
Well,
doors.
I've killed Oxyloto, I've
ditching.
killed the I've killed
There it is.
the high
It's
elf.
called
I've
ding
killed
dong.
Zoran.
That's what it's called. It's called ding dong ditching. So yes. So
We
that
don't
is-
call that in the UK.
So, do y'all have doorbells? Maybe that's why. Y'all probably don't have
No,
doorbells.
we call it well because we don't use because all people have doorbells. So we do knocking. So we call it knock a door run. Means you knock on the door, then you leg it.
I mean, I'm trying to think. So ding dong ditch, knock a door, run. Oh, both sound pretty cringe. I'm trying to think which is worse and which has a better tongue. Rolls off the tongue better.
But it's the case that you have more doorbells. We have more like old-fashioned wooden doors that we
That's
still
true.
use in our
That's a
houses.
good
So
point.
it's the case of it's your houses are more modernized, which ours are built for more older types. Because some of our houses still get used and sold.
Yeah, essentially Kairos is literally a ding dong ditcher at this point. He's just running up, just hitting the button and booking it and jumping behind the bushes. All you see is a pair of wings sticking over the bush. And you hear voices of the heads arguing with each other. Shut up! You're gonna get us caught. Be quiet.
I could see that happening. Do you know what? That makes me happy.
Right there.
But you said you were out.
I am. I've been using this one for a while.
Was it out or in?
It's about to be out.
Does she? Does she?
Probably have one left.
Gotta figure it
Only got two.
out. Figure It Out's a good song. Don't you dare to say it.
Let's go one more. I'll be you want it right
Meanwhile,
now.
Darius is falling
You
asleep
finish it,
over
so
there.
I don't have him.
Okay, that's not.
Darius, wake up! Hey, wake up! Ah, no, Doris is asleep again.
I'm also dying. But, just take it, it's not.
There we go, he's awake! Yay! Don't touch me,
Oh,
Doris.
hey, wait. Ah, I need another cup with some of my blue raspberry.
Hey, wait, I haven't talked about your car's extended warranty.
Hey, wait, I need to talk to you about the car's extended warranty.
Imagine that. Hey, wait, I forgot to tell you about your car's extended warranty.
That's how committed to the bit you have to be to sell car insurance.
Exactly right.
Hello?
But seriously, have you heard about car's extended
Ants.
warranty? It's great rates. No one talk to me, please. I'm moving my army so they can get.
No one declare war on the island. It's still there.
No, I want people. Your irony is, actually, no. I'm not gonna say it now because it will bite me in the ass later. But for now, while I've got nothing going on, I would like some
Huh?
engagement in other activities that require me to move.
There it is. You think your brain doesn't know what you mean? It's gonna be like, alright, you want war? Let's get in war. Next 10 turns.
Well, I'm
are gonna-
hoping so because
No.
my brain is tired and
The-
I have about
the-
6 hours of sleep.
The next 6 turns are gonna be like 4 factions declared war on you.
Well, I hope not because I'm about to make friends with one, so I could declare. Well, I'm gonna declare war on the shorties when I get chance.
They're gonna do it on you in the next 6 turns. You ain't gonna get to do it yourself.
Well, if that's the case, I mean that's great because it helps solve my problem. So I mean, I'm glad it would.
Hold on.
AI
is
smarter.
huh?
The AI is smarter, huh?
I mean,
They made the AI smarter in battle, manual battling, but not in the overworld.
I mean,
That's still a-
realistically, that maybe needs to be in their next update as well.
Yeah,
but-
I think, but but overall, it was this was just a test to see how the AI feels, and most people have said that it felt better. So it's just a test
Thank you.
in the stage. So, like working on a robot for the first time, that's brand new to you.
Mm-hmm. You'll either burn it down or you turn it into a killer robot. There's no in between. What?
Yeah, there really isn't. I agree with that statement, though. Oh, it's biting. What?
Wow. Yes, it is.
So, was it? Hold on. That means the war succeeded then.
On what?
So according to Gid, Wozak failed his war, which is sad, but he's killed Tequila.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he succeeded. It means whatever settlement he chose, he did not keep. So something else might have taken
okay.
it. It could have been like what happened with Nurgle, where Nurgle Festus took both of Argall's places he razed to the ground. Swooped it right out from under him. So that can happen.
So
This is why you want to
I actually need to save up a lot of money.
So you guarantee you can
Yes,
protect it and defend it until it's
yes.
over. Because if you lose it before the wall's over, you lose the wall. And the wall is considered
I
a
get that
failure.
back, to be fair. To be fair, it's alright. There you go, that's my turn done.
See, now that looks more like an actual army. Although, where is this to you? Comparatively to you. That's not too bad. It does mean that one city might be slightly in trouble. That you're somewhat away from. The groom is definitely angry. If you're wondering what that is, the autocorrect keeps changing Grom to Groom. The Groom. The bride's groom keeps getting wah angry. What kind of bride would you say that a greenskin's probably gonna have? I actually don't know what that would even look like if they even had females.
Just explore up north, Ardot. Explore up north for no apparent reason.
Other than like Warcraft's iteration on there, I don't think we have a reference for too many female orcs. I don't think that would be a thing. In most situations.
They were used for other purposes, Ardot. Okay.
That's goblins. You're thinking about goblins. There's a reason why there's a goblin slayer.
And there's a reason why there's goblet hewers.
Even though I do
goblet,
like gobos.
Doob dive catapults.
What? What does catapult have to do
Yeah.
with this? Oh,
Because they load goblins.
oh, you're talking about the hurlers. Yeah. Well, that's how gobos work. The lesser gobos don't get to stick around. They're used as ammo.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
That's how they still contribute. Alright, we have some Zargard. We have a situation. Has Festus moved away? He has. Alright, so let me check some things. Let's see what our situation needs to be here.
Now the big question is, you gotta ask yourself, why has Festus moved away?
I'm hoping to go try to fight Darius. And
I
that,
can always
that
throw this
Darius
back
has scared
behind
him
me
into
after.
coming back towards his territory. Me and the
You
Orthodoxy
gotta knock
are...
off Sigvolt looking ass.
Hold on, I'm going to send payment to the Orthodoxy. We're spending our money on the Orthodoxy this turn. Just because he's
I
at
did
neutral
scare
with
it.
he's at neutral with me now, and I'm trying to get him to go a little higher with that. We do need to get that other perk next time I unlock enough. Make sure points here. We need to go for something Dominion or diplomatic related, basically. Which would be... See, this one would help us with this, but we need 2 ice points. We're only going to get 1. So we're not going to have enough of that, so... Maybe this. It makes construction costs cheaper and take less time, which is... We're going to need that. That actually is what we're getting. Yeah, now reading that, we're behind on buildings because we focus solely on recruiting right now. Because we're kind of stuck in this in-between game going on right now. Let me get the upgrade for the Zargard. Let me get the upgrade for the Zargard, make them even
No,
tougher.
you know, not. You're doing a great job. Keep sucking.
So, yeah. We are now attempting to relegate that issue and see what our strength is. So, let's see what our strength is to the Chaos Lords now. Arball still has a full red bar on me. I don't like that. God, I really hate
I
him.
was just angry.
I really hate him.
Yeah, well, so do most people, but hey, not many people
Okay, Festus is better. As soon as he gets punched once, he's killable. Because he's 65% red to my 20 to 30% red. If he loses one army, I will instantly be able to take him from this world. From my side. Or at least from the areas he's taken from me.
Relax there.
I just don't know if I want him coming back this way now. Like, should I attack Prague and take Volksgrad and Prague from him that he usurped and basically swooped from under the rug out from Arball? How much you willing to pay me to punch him? I don't have a lot of money. I don't make much per turn right now because I had to recruit such high rank units. My economy is now down in the 1700s per turn. Just because of... And that's not three armies, that's 2. Because I can't afford a third one unless I expand. So I have to decide who's my biggest opponent, who's my best choice. See, even even Azog, it says his power scale is stronger than Nurgle to me. Which is scary to think, because that means he's still got a 20 stack wall somewhere. So essentially a 40. Somewhere. And probably a small, like, full 20. And what I mean by small full 20, it's a 10 with a wah. So it means there's a 10 wah in there too. Now the army near me has nothing in it. It has one wah unit and one main unit. And Beach of Fenris definitely has no defenses. It'd be easy to take the stuff that he's taken, but it'd be the what is the repercussions of that and what is he going to send at me from that mountain? Especially if he's not fighting Vlad now.
Oh, he always is fighting
This-
Vlad.
No, I think he ended it. I'm pretty sure they stopped each other because Vlad's winning, at least overall. They're both pretty nasty towards me, but apparently Vlad is still winning.
Vlad is
Let
Vlad.
me look at Vlad's number.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do
Yeah, it
that.
shows you
Because
how
I have
weak
to
we
up.
are
Because this is
right
the
now,
problem with
chat.
Steam Overlay. It's really small, so I have to open it like this. Gunpowder Lady has something to say about that.
So upgrade that. We need more money.
What you heard about Darius? What does Gunpowder Lady do?
Gunpowder Lady has. Oh, she's at war with Vlad. Okay. Well, it still says Vlad is overpowering me, so he hasn't lost too much. Because I don't have a lot.
They may have just
Realistically,
started the war.
Realistically, I'm probably pretty small compared to a lot of the armies on the map right now, especially certain ones. But I'm hoping my units are just better.
Quality over quantity.
So let's see what his are. His are tier 3, tier 3, tier 1, tier 2. So he has very little tier 1, tier 2s. Most of it's tier 3. But that's a small army. Whereas I have, on my weakest army, I have a lot more tier 1s on this army. But, yeah, see, this army's a little bit shittier. Do we have any cav I can replace this guy with? Give him better cav? Because we're lacking on the cav. I do not. We have Strelessis. I'm going to add some Strelessis. Those are our what's called, right? Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh,
Ooh, ooh, ooh, ooh, ooh.
yeah, I know what I want to do. So, we can't do it this turn because we don't have enough. We'll wait till next turn. It's definitely still a recruiting phase.
Shut
right now.
up, you pink bastard.
It's definitely recruiting
Sorry, my
phase
pink collar
right
is
now.
just laughing like a gobbo and I have to tell him to shut up. Do you have a lord? I can't remember. Does a Var have a hero? I know you do. Yeah, you do. Do you? No, you don't, so I need to recruit a lord. What am I doing? Oh, just upgrade the conversation. Oh. Your fault. I am tired. I've had 6 hours sleep, chat. I am tired.
Yeah, let me know if you get too tired. I don't want you to. I don't want to do too many silly things and accidentally screw up your part of your playthrough. Even though you technically have it the most comfiest. Then Darius, second place. He may be fighting 3 fronts, but he's got some good resources. And then there's me, who's trapped in a corner, surrounded by terrible shit.
Yeah. I keep yawning. This is what I hate yawning. Yawning should be banned. It's annoying me.
Seems like they should be bad. I don't like the words "don't panic." Okay, don't panic, hard not. Why would I panic? What would cause alarm for panic?
Okay,
I
look
may
at
have
that. I may
gotten
have got
three
three
armies.
armies I could afford.
I may
Why
have
would you
gotten...
panic about that? You're on his side.
Oh, you couldn't afford? Did you mean say I couldn't or I could afford? I mean, you do probably have a lot more
I
money
mean,
than
the
I do.
panic.
I could. Okay, well then why would I panic? I mean, that's
Yeah,
good
why
for
would you
you.
panic about that? Seems like a good thing.
I mean, unless I was fighting you, then that'd be kind of annoying and kind of alarming. But as a Kislevian right now, but yeah, I'll probably die long before even any of that would matter. And this is from the Count fighting Festus. He might go back north. Well, you should just declare war on Festus and try to kill him. He looks like he's running out of quite a bit of territory to myself. Y'all are definitely boxing him in. And the sooner you do that, the sooner I can get Prague and Volksgrad back that I should have already had. But that was my stupidity for not attacking them. I wasn't sure if I should. But now knowing how they play, I should have said screw the orthodoxy in the beginning and just kissed up to them later after getting rid of Prague. So I would have had a forefront to chaos. But I didn't do that. So I idiot. So now I pray Mundo frozen in the ice. Or in this case, melting out of the ice. Thing catastrophe levels of stupidity. But yeah. I blame Lamito.
About to fall asleep because Darius is taking too long. Good night, everyone. Alright, it's next morning. What is Darius still on his turn?
No, it's still, yeah, it's Darius' turn. Luckily I have leftovers. I don't have to eat too much, so I don't have to end early, but I'm probably still going to call it from my side around 7:30 at latest. Which will give us another about hour at best, unless James gets a little too tired.
No, I'll power through it.
This has been a weird weekend anyways. Everything was out of sorts, and I was prepared but not prepared for today.
So you were prepared.
I was prepared streaming-wise, but not mentally.
Same, bro.
Like that. My brain's like, where are the demons at? And then you just shoot them with my shotgun. Where I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah,
not
so it's
this
like,
game.
where am I? Who are you? Get out of my house.
And it's like my super shotgun is hungry.
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
Also, God, I'm so much better at that game than when I did streamed it. I'm so mad at myself. There are some small mistakes I'm making here and there, but that's because it's more me relearning the controls, as James has been a test to since he's kind of my message group on PlayStation. I send all my control scheme pictures to.
Yeah,
Who is
I
the
know
Great
the
Orthodox
secrets
he
don't
talking
lie.
to? What? Who
Who?
did he just talk to? Jarvis, is he talking to you?
Who's talking to who?
Did old man Zheng Jiao come to see you? Of Russia? He gave what? Hold on, I have to look at that after
He
I
gave
wrote.
me your body.
What?
He stole from you.
Yes!
Stole from you and gave it to
Holy
Darius.
crap! I gave him that as R-ball safety initiative money. Dumbass.
And he just went, oh fuck it, we'll give it to the Empire.
It's to protect against the blood host of death. Yoy. Groom is dead.
Gromstead. I love it, he says Gromstead. Here comes the bride. Here comes Carl Frost.
I mean, what's Carl
Yeah,
Franz that
that's-
killed him clearly in this picture. So, yeah, that's about accurate.
Well, I may know where that is actually. Hold on.
That's a lot of trolls. There's no pump
Why
wagons.
were you fighting in my land, Darius?
There's no pump wagons. Like I said, AI's better at general comp. Like, meaning not just spamming some spears and only that. But it still doesn't understand what the characters look like they're supposed to be good with. Because, God, that's not enough pump wagons for a guy who's supposed to be known for pump wagons. He actually might have done some more damage to Darius. And also want to point out, Darius has a weakened army right now. Pump wagons would have enjoyed that feast.
Can we appreciate that? What you've said. So Grom loves a good pump.
Yes. Yes. For Mr. Still. Hey, now that's an orc, although it looks like you're still stronger than he is. So I also have to argue, what is he doing over there? Clearly Warzak was stronger because he's got siege blessings, but hey. But Warzak's cheating right now. And there it is. That made the decision for us. And there it is. You pus-filled bastard.
Which one?
The only one close enough to me to matter. The one I just sat here talking in length over.
Epidemus or Festus?
Why would Epidemus is nowhere near here. If he was,
He's always close to you, or not.
This is stupidity. Alright, declare war.
This is not far. So we have RDC's border. I go about the Quad War on Reichland.
Well, at least this means I can attack Prague.
No, fuck up, Bellacore, you backstabbing bastard.
I knew one of them might do it. That's why I was a little afraid of pulling the trigger myself. Normally I don't like to turtle. I'm not that kind of player in these games, but because I had a bad start and I made some terrible mistakes because I don't play Kislev that much, I had to kind of wait for the hatchet
Good job,
to come towards me so I can have a chance to catch the hatchet and throw it right back. At least in strategy terms and tactics. So our goal is to let the Queen attack Prague. The secondary forces staying near the border to answer any stupidity. We may have to throw the secondary force and do what I do in some of these situations when I'm at a disadvantage and have less troops, to do so much damage in a manual that the Queen can just come and freeze everything straight solid and that nothing will survive it. That is my only kind of hope here. Now, it doesn't seem they're doing much better unit-wise than I am. Highest is tier 3, tier 2s, things like that, tier 1s at best. So we're about the same there. There's like some demons that are like tier 4, but they're only like 1 or 2 units per whole squad. Can't talk. Maybe 4 to 5 at best.
Squad!
Yep, there he is right there. So, oh, I can't see it from here, but yeah. So he's heading straight here now. I assume you're heading for Zavastra. Do we fight you there, or do we fight you at Kislev? Zavastra does have a decent wall.
Yeah.
It's not great troops, but I mean they're all tier 1s and tier 2s. The bottom's all tier 1. That's not great. So what would I lose if I lose this? So I'd lose 150 income from there. I'd lose 160 income from there. Of course, the area would destabilize somewhat. So what's right there? Vitovo? I mean, I guess it depends on if he's got
because he already has that evil.
I guess it depends on how brave Festus is willing to get with Zavastra on his own. without a secondary stack.
Oh, actually, you know what? This actually works well for him. Okay, so I actually did do that right. Let's have a look at this guy. He has something in his
So
head.
we definitely have to move on this turn.
Kairos is nearly returned home,
I have armies
boys.
near his border. He has 3 heading your way. Why me? Another thing that I have a problem with, campaign-wise, with this game, that I hope they improve. This is just a tip and friendly like advice to the developer or NCA for going forward. Yeah, the bar sling. Ah! Oh my goodness. Can I somehow make a non-aggression with you and somehow quickly feed you into some sort of defensive pact to join this war? The orthodoxy just changed because I finished that technology on top of I completed one of the missions because Festus is one of the orthodoxy's enemies on that list that I had for that mission. I have completed the one Motherland mission. So now permanently diplomatic relations plus 40 with the Great Orthodoxy. Okay. That worked out maybe at my benefit a little bit more than I thought. However, uh-oh. You need a non-aggression with me right now, sir. And we need trade, military access, the whole works. Whole works, big guy. And before this goes bad. Because I need this number to shrink quickly. You see what's happening right here, chat? God, I feel like Boris right now. I was supposed to be playing as Kazarina, not Boris. This is a Boris
Joke's
scenario, right? This is what it feels like. Joke's on you. This is secretly Boris. Yeah? Your brain goes,
Yep.
the fuck?
So, to be honest, it makes sense.
Alright, sending my troops over here.
Elevator
I
operator.
can't get to Zavastra, so we may be retreating. That's why I'm only putting him right there. She, however, is going for Prague. Immediately. What's Prague's defenses?
Elevator
Piss
operator.
poor. Good. Let's go. Decisive even without siege equipment. Auto-resolve that. Yeah, we didn't hardly take anything. A couple of the sisters and the 2 of the Tsar guards took some damage. Everybody else was basically unscathed. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Occupy. Nice. Alright, secure. Prague is back in Kislevian hands. We sadly can't get Volksgrad in the same turn. We should heal that in one full turn. We will. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And because Prague is its own settlement in its own region, it can just grow safely on its own in the background and be kind of a throwaway city when we need it. And because I am a corruption, anti-corruption, insane person, look how fast that corruption's already dropping. It's dropping almost 20 per turn for some of these.
That's good.
Well, that's because we're basically, once again, the Inquisition mixed with the Sisters of Battle, essentially. Which neither of those are friends of chaos corruption at all. That's for Kislev. Construction, it gives more growth. Construction cost even reduced even more. Construction time reduced even more. Excuse me. Woo. Oh yeah, we wanted some Strelesi for you though. I don't think you can get that in time. How many turns would it take? And we have to retreat. Shit, I came over here too soon. Alright, so that's not happening. So... Regiment of Renown. Is this guy better?
I've got an itch in my wrist.
Exactly the same.
Oh, that's nice. I've itched it.
Why is it not
The
showing
itch has
the
not been
comparison?
completed.
As the comparison must have broken.
Yeah, sorry, I just,
Oh, no, there it
hacked
goes.
into it. I gave you false readings.
Ah, so there it is. Wow, that is a lot better. Let's put that in here. Oh wait, there's a regiment of renown on that one. See, I need more orthodoxy belief. We need another orthodoxy church. But the issue is the Fort Jacoba has to put up walls. Because now we're going into a scenario where a lot of shit is about to maybe get attacked. So we needed to be able to fight back and do what's trickle damage just in case I have to recover it. Because I'd rather have to recover it than lose it fully. So, and not put up any fight. Okay. What other... So that benefits only the bears. That benefits the snow leopard. Let's at least get that. Let's do that because the snow leopard is a super elite unit for this for her army. I've already upgraded the ice sister perk. Urson's protection, missile resistance. We're fighting Nurgle. They're not gonna really have that. So I'm thinking upgrade Hawks of Mishka and go ahead and unlock Earthing to get rid of miscast chance. Okay. And then we want to get rid of corruption fast here, so we're going to do Power of the Church in the Prague area to cleanse this corruption even faster. We won't see it till next turn, but learn how fast it'll and how much it'll be. But it basically should erase the corruption and basically just turn the next turn completely, which is insane. Oh, well, Throt's gonna die.
Yeah, I mean,
Apparently-
shouldn't he ought to be dead?
Yeah, no, because technically, the way it worked out, he was technically surviving fighting the Orthodoxy for a while. They were back and forth until something else came in here. Pun intended. And also, for some reason, Korn just decided he wanted rat skulls, I guess. Because, let's see, that's 2 blood hosts and a full 20 stack of Arbol himself attacking Throt's home base.
That is amazing.
So... However, I know who killed Malachi.
Who?
So I am now officially Boris, and they also took one of the Orthodoxies, and they're at war with them, for God's sake, this is terrible. I am now fully my father, Boris, because let's check it off, right? My Boris has to fight Nurgle, he has to fight Korn, he has to fight Undivided, which that hasn't shown up yet, but it's only a matter of time before the Angry One or something close, like some Chaos Dwarves or some shit, show up. So, they're the only one missing from this party, because he also fights Slanesh. And guess who's just come knocking?
Oh, I see how.
And he's the one that killed Malachi.
Well, you know what? If it's not Throg, it's usually Malachi. So not Malachi.
All
not
of the
Malachi.
dwarf mountains are goddamn tentacles everywhere.
Oh, that's a bad thing for you. This is what Malachi has to fight before you. So glad that I'm not playing Malachi, so I'll get a break from this.
Yeah,
so
but you would
have to see.
have at least held him at the door and probably killed him, or at least wounded him.
I would have killed Throg. I would have killed Azel. I would have killed Arbol, Epidemus, And then
And at
Archaon.
least it would have given me a reason to care about that treaty I'm forced into in the beginning of the game that makes the Orthodoxy hate me for the longest.
No, and I think that's just a secret to nine because you don't know why that treaty's there until Malachi's dead. Then you realize he wasn't that treaty was there not for a random one. It was there to protect you until you understood, till you got defensive enough to help Malachi defeat what he's
Yeah,
on
but
his
that's
front though.
BS though. He's a dwarf and this is Kislev. I get that they have dealings together. But my brain goes, yeah, but the Great Orthodoxy still would be closer to the Ice Queen, even in difference of beliefs in some ways, than a dwarf? Or at least then...
Malachi's weird. I just generally think they should have made it.
And because Malachi is technically a wanderer in his own right, because he doesn't really set down in his lore either. He doesn't really stay in one place. That's why the meme with the airship is a thing.
Nakari doesn't stay in one place. Gromril doesn't stay in one place. Malachi doesn't stay in one place.
So
there's a lot of wanderers.
Well, yeah, some dwarves are like that, but then Chaos dwarves can be, you could argue, are kind of similar too, but just maybe slightly less nomadic. But the only really dwarf that doesn't wander around the map is Thorgrim, Mr. Grudge Everybody. He's the only one who does not move.
Than me. You're taller than me.
Right.
That's a grudging.
You're taller. You're taller. You're
ta-
going in the book. You're going in the book.
In the book, you're gonna book. That's a grudging. That's a grudging. You're taller than that's a grudging.
Like, so
Taller
you
than
think
my
it's
mountain. That's a
weird.
grudging.
As the Thorgrim is getting jumped. No, I don't doubt it.
Good. Thorgrim should after he grudged everyone. Now I said,
By
you're getting a
Chaos
grudge for
Dwarves? Wow. So then I'm right. Then
And
I'm about
Skaven.
to see Undivided.
Oh, I'm friends with Skaven, so
Well,
you know what? Hey,
but that screws me because if he makes it through Azog as well, the Chaos Dwarves, well, there's the Undivided chink of the chain that I was missing as being my father.
and this is why we don't speak too earlier.
Well, once again, this is on me, at least tactically in one way. If I know that this was going to be a problem, I'd have taken Prague and said, screw trying to be diplomatic with Prague at all. I would have let the Orthodoxy hate me further for a little while. Hell, what I could have done is just killed him, ended the war, but don't take his territories, and just peace out with him. Basically teaching him a lesson, don't buck up. Kind of situation. And then, boom, we could still confederate him later without warring and conquering him. But if I'd known this, I'd have been in a better spot. And that is hindsight. I don't play Kislev like that. I've only played them 3 times in total, including this time. So, well, at least the Queen, specifically. Boris I've played a little bit more. But hell, even Boris to a certain extent has it easier than this, because you can just get bears.
Yeah,
you just
bears
spam
rule the
bears
world.
and ruin Archaon's life.
You should be releasing that video of
But,
bears.
no, I have seen that video.
Great.
But I already knew
It's
about
great,
that. I
innit?
didn't go to that extreme, but I already knew that the bears were OP and that's the key to beating Archaon.
Oh yeah,
and
but he
Boris.
made it into another level.
He
of
took
OP.
it to the stupidity of holy crud. He literally just made Boris into Bear Man.
Yeah, he said we're gonna conquer the world with bears.
Only bears.
And he literally did. He fucking slaughtered Archaon, and he did it with just bears.
Alright, we're gonna end the turn and see what happens. Oh wait, hold on. Do I have any walls I need to build and start setting up defenses? Defenses are going up there. I think we're as good as we're gonna get since I started a construction of stuff in Prague. Let's do it. And Prague will make up for the money I might lose at Zavastra if it's taken. And that's what my plan is to grab the shit he can't get back to, come back this way with the Queen, and then double take him. Now he does have 3 armies heading our way. So what might have to happen is we have to fight all 3 of these at Kislev. Or maybe let it take 1 or 2 settlements while whittling them down enough to finish the job. This is still a win. It's just going to be very hurtful. Very hurtful. I'm like I said, the AI does seem still a little silly, because its biggest threat is technically Darius, the empire who surrounded it, yet it's punching north. And I don't know if that's just out of according to the AI, desperidity, and it just doesn't understand what to do? Or is it's just picked a random target that just, because I'm weaker on the war scale according to other opponents he's facing, maybe the AI just sees
Or he
an
has a
opportunity.
contact with me, and that's why he's not coming after me. Yeah.
Well, you would be too far away for his taste anyways. Right now.
Actually, no. I could be over there in a turn.
I'm about to slam a land ship into his puzzle. I mean, that's at least something. Because if you do damage to him out there, then he has no recovery. Now, hopefully I can survive. Because right now, this is all I care about. We need to survive with at least Kislev intact, Prague intact, and if I can help it, Fort Chakova. The rest, the other small 3 settlements, even though it'll hurt my religious balance that I finally got tailor made and made it actually work, so I don't get debuffs. Igrov, Vitivo, and Zavastra are right now expendable until we can fight this off. 2 of them technically have level 1 walls. That's Vitivo and Zavastra. Which ironically, those are the ones closest to where he can attack. So both of those have at least a small garrison of defense. Along with Kislev's right there. Kislev is definitely the most dangerous target. The issue here is I actually don't have walls at Kislev. But I don't have to. Because Kislev cheats in a different way. Because I'm using religious buildings and my military building.
Don't forget about the garrison up there, yours.
Well, yeah, there's that. But I'm also talking about, what I'm talking about is, with Kislev, they're one of the, I like when factions do this. Not all the factions do this in the game. When your red building also gives you garrisoned units. Meaning your red building also provides defense to your city. It's not just a recruitment building. So my Zargard building that's maxed out is providing recruitment inside the settlement of Zargard dual wield, Zargard great weapons, regular Zargard, and my natural settlement, tier 3, is providing garrison of armored Kossars 3, armored Kossar great weapons 3,
armored Kossars,
armored Kossar archers, armored Kossar spears, winged lancers, a patriarch, and that's what it is. So if you look at its defense, even though it has no walls, look how good this unit is.
There ain't the goddamn
Zar.
walls.
It's 4 Zargards and mostly,
right.
Mostly
Fuck
armored
it.
Kossars.
James is bored. James is ADHD's kicked in. James is going to play golf.
No, you're streaming. Don't go play golf. There's not time for golf.
Oh, I never said I'm a PlayStation.
Okay. This one army does not scare me. This one over here, right here. This is interesting. That can't hurt me. It's got some Chaos Warriors in here, but a lot of that is shit. Like, that's all tier 1, tier 2, and it's not good tier 1, tier 2s. They didn't even evolve them into proper Nurgle Marauders. They stayed at regular Marauder. And some of these are leveled up enough to change. I actually think you can just flat out change your regular Marauder, at least into the level 1 Nurgle Marauder. So this at least inspires confidence in what I'm
Don't
saying
talk
here.
about that green sack of shit. Do you know what? Nurgle
And
was the
this one's
snowman,
okay,
and
this
I
one's
must
got at
kill
least
it.
4 good units, but overall, once again,
I thought I broke Arthur for a second.
this one's like it's got a Beast of Nurgle, once again an aspiring and neutral aspiring champion set of Chaos Warriors. That's so strange. And then a set of dual weapon Chaos Warriors. Once again, neutral. Another thing that kind of weirds me out about the AI, which in this case is good for me, but you know it shouldn't be. This is a Nurgle worshipping Chaos champion who runs off the Warriors of Chaos kind of situation type of way of evolvement of its units. the AI clearly doesn't understand that these are all supposed to be Nurgle units, like Nurgle
Yep.
Marauders, which would make them tankier. They'd have more HP and more resistance too. They wouldn't hit as hard as a regular Marauder, technically in comparison, or Chaos Warrior, but they'd be super buff and be super lasty and annoyingly hard to kill.
And to be honest, they would have more vigor as well.
There's that too.
Also,
Ignorance
So
is a little
basically,
weird.
also, I did not know this. That
Okay, good to know.
you know, you could get. I've learned a bit more about the game. That by one of my YouTubers I watch for Warhammer now. He goes into detail about what is vigor or why perfect vigor is really good, but basically, essentially, every action your character, your units do, cost vigor, and you get penalties the longer or how efficient you are with your units, and they reflected the negative hidden.
Why does this sound like this should be something Slanesh should be good at?
To be fair, it is, and it should be, because I'm not gonna say it, but I have to upload a video. But he goes into detail explaining how the vigor works and how each action costs
That actually
a
explains
certain
something.
amount.
I never knew that. So it's
It
like
does, like you
kinda-
have
it's kinda
hidden
like
stats in the
stamina.
game,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
kind of
tells
like
you it
stamina
goes
that
from
it'll give you negatives as they get tired. Kind of like in a.
yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing in. Even though this is a rough comparison because it's not the same genre, it's like Bannerlord. If you or your men are
It
exhausted,
does feel like a bit Bannerlord, but
because
they
if
the
you and
stats
your
everything.
because if you and your men are exhausted in Bannerlord, yeah, you could have the best shit in the world. They're not going to fight at all good. They're likely to
Yeah,
still
and it
get
gives you
killed by a
negative
peasant.
stats. It gives you, I think, like negative 30 defense or something like that.
It's
I
like,
forget the actual stats. But it's actually really cool how he goes into detail about
That
it. I
also
really
explains
recommend
to me,
watching.
you know what it means? It means that Slanesh is somehow the opposite. It means that they give out quick, which I get that joke, and I get that's probably maybe what they were going for. But you're gonna tell me the thing that's known for sucking the vigor literally out of other people is bad at it? I don't believe that. I believe that should be an ultimate. Hopefully, maybe we'll get lucky and maybe the new Slanesh character will be good at this. Because I do think that may, now hearing that, maybe that's what Slanesh's special thing should be. Since Khorne is flat damage with good ass armor, Nurgle's just all about just the most ridiculous health pools ever, and HP, and tankiness. And then Zeech is all about the magic and the range. All about the blasty blast. And it's like, and also with the fact, excuse me, that Slanesh is the fastest, meaning they have the fastest units. Vigor seems like this should be important with how far they have to run and how much they have to run around the map, being flanker units. So it seems like that would be something they should be definitely not shitty at.
Hold on. I'll have to say, I'll have to give a shout out to him. It's Zekrovich, his name. Just but he is English, even though his name is totally not.
Well, that's cool.
I mean, yeah, I've learned a lot about the game, and some of the tactics and everything. It really taught me a lot how to play the game differently. I learned that maybe that mass has something to do with how your units are behave. So if they have anti-large, right? Something I learned from him is if a unit has anti-large, that means it's good at countering large units, which if a unit is, the more heavier the unit is, the more it's considered a large unit.
So I wonder if
you'd be
there's
wanting
a
to target
scaling
stuff
system.
heavy.
See, I never knew that. So that means that the more mass it has, the more damage it takes from anti-large units. That's interesting.
Yes, because the unit is an anti-large specialty, it's good at countering heavier units. Which, if you're heavier, you're larger. It's some of the stuff that you don't learn
I'm
about.
gonna make a
which is
terrible
good at
joke,
teaching.
I'm gonna make a terrible joke, so that means all I need is spears to beat Nurgle.
Yes, and I would approve of that because of that. My approval of your terrible joke is approved. I'm happy with that. So yeah, I think that's why Nurgles really hate spears because, well, the spears they would hurt you a lot.
And I bet you, actually, I'm gonna say this out loud. I bet you that's an actual thing, at least on, what's his name, Grandfather Boy over in the other corner. I forget his name. The main one, the original.
Kugolf? That name?
I think so. But yeah, he would be absolutely detrimentally affected by this. Explains why you don't want him fighting anti-large units. He's too fat.
Yeah. Because, think about it. Anti-large.
How am I not broke
Nurgle's all about that.
Because Empire makes a lot of money. You're also
has
expanding quite quickly, to be fair, from what I can see. You've got quite some good settlements scattered around, giving you some trickle-in money. Plus, I assume you have deals with all the elector counts. Technically, there are 4 armies heading this way, just because one of them is the.
Oh, how's your Nurgle electric
Norskins.
count going, Darius?
I'm trying to figure out how would I.
Which I find I always like that. Nurgle's an electric count.
I need to fall back and try to get some Strelessi quickly. I really don't know what else to do otherwise. Okay, that unit. Okay, Ventress's unit is the most useless. So Ventress is the weakest out of these 3. Wow, the Norskin army is wounded and still being wounded. Wait a minute. I know what we can do. Can't I do a blizzard in my territory to cause attrition? Hold the phone. Don't I have a bone boy? I'm gonna call it what it is, somewhat bitch tactic. Just freeze the infection out.
Hey, it's up to you what you do.
I need to see how that works.
But everyone's recruited. Everyone's loving.
Well, I see where my
Everyone's
money is
here.
from.
I will give some love to.
Is that
Oh.
Oh,
I'll give you.
Azog's back to raiding
Oh,
the
regulars
vampires.
have had the large, but these ones don't. So what's the difference between me?
Don't you come and attack me, you stupid green skin. Just keep raiding the Fang boys. Just stay down there. Just show them the green wall of greenness, and you stay away. Until I get rid of the other green problem I'm dealing with.
Inventory loads. Okay, here's the flying ones. Yeah. I think I right it. What about the plague dogs? Yeah. Plague dogs are large. That's a large chaos spawn. So hold on. No, but I need to get distracted. I need to find the regular one. I want to see what difference is.
Okay. So
it's worse.
Festus is the only one with proper marauders. There's not too many Chaos Warriors though. Just marauders. Which is interesting.
So why would I get something worse? But it's rank 9. That's what makes it different though. But this is what, rank 4? Even the base one's better.
Oh wow.
So why would I bother?
So that is a pretty good percentage there, Darius. 15% is quite high in this game.
I'm making an army of unstoppable horrors. An army of
said, the more I look at the map, the more it looks like the tides of chaos. That's what it feels like.
I don't need to build upgrades. Coal upgrades not yet.
Feels like I'm playing Damon Gate all over again. It's always Nurgle.
You'll fight your epidermis with that. You're at war with epidermis.
Except I don't have Grey Knights this time to help,
Bloody
mitigate
hands.
it.
Ooh. You are at war with the Blood Axe tribe. Let's join war against it then. For a non-aggression packet, I'll pay you. They condemn battle support. We're at war with them, Safrael. What do you want from me?
Nice.
Well, I'm just gonna hope I've declared war on someone, so I hope I don't regret that action. Turns out I'll regret it immediately.
Yeah, we are not fighting that as a boss for over 1 year. Then get back to Kislev. You need to get some Streletsy. We're gonna play this a little bit different. So when you get rid of you two immediately, we need Streletsy. There they are. Or Streltsy? Streltsy? Streltsy. It's got a T in it that I didn't see. Streltsy. It's got a good melee. These guys are technically great axe infantry, but they're also gunners. So these are going to be a really good... This is what I want my guardsman unit to be. If I was able to still play this like I was originally kind of theming this around, which was guardsman inquisition mixed with sisters of battle, the Streltsy are the main guardsmen. They would be probably lining most of this as far as all the range are concerned. Like, I'd probably even get rid of this guy for one of those and just keep this just because it's Regiment of Renown. Because I'd want at least 3 in both armies. Hell, I technically want some in the Queen's as well, but her comp right now just has to kind of stay Icy Sister composition. Which, let's attack Volksgrad now. Decisive, beautiful, auto-resolve. We don't have to fight these first ones. These are easy and not really hard to do. My only worry is this has now put me on the border with good old Arbol. So this means that now I'm putting tensions with him higher. So when he's done with Throt up there, there's a chance he could come for me. Like immediately. Right out the gate. So I'm going to take her off her horse. I do not want her on a horse right now. The other one I'm going to keep on the horse, but... Let's do her equipment while I'm in here too. So, White Cloak of Auric. It's a hex for enemies around her, yes. Give me that. And then potion of healing for her. Do I have an arcane item? I do that. Okay.
Yes, you learned.
Skill.
Like I said, I learned a lot of stuff. Right, and I think after, so...
We're gonna need rally.
Do you have Perfect Vigor? Can
Do
you
we
get
have
Perfect
any more?
Yeah. Disc of Z.
So that's
Oh,
the
that's actually what currently what they're doing. As far? Yeah, yeah. Imagine said Kairos, riding Kairos. That would make sense.
See, that's not
Also,
as
another
important
I have a
overall
theory about those
as
pink
this.
goblins.
I'm gonna do this.
Pink goblins. These are pink goblins. Think about it, they scream like one, they talk like one. But what if a goblin got exposed to the warp? Would it become a pink horror or a blue horror?
I mean, you tell me you've played Magic.
I play Magic, and you know what? And
I'm pretty sure you get my.
can I be
Magic.
honest? Magic confirms this. Agent Wonders confirms this. Weirdly. If you take goblins, give them the ability to use magic, you get pink horrors. You get horrors of Zeech.
Alright, what's the corruption going on right now? I went down because of attrition going on, yeah. Alright, so we need technology now. The Bulwark of the Thesarians, Icy Rights. I'm not using any of those creatures yet. We've had a very weird start, to be fair. Where do I get my Frost Witch? Right there. Oof, that's really far down.
The next turn I'm going to be spend my turn. Kairos has still got a 20 stack. So we're going to keep these. We're going to get 3, so we're going to get rid of you. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to keep you. 2, I want this. I mean, you are really good, to be fair. Eventually, these are like. How fast are you? 50? You're not too.
Give me that.
You're not too. You're not too bad of a melee hybrid. You actually are kind of hybridized flaming attacks. You do armor piercing. Wow, that's actually good. Just this is just get more armor piercing.
Or some more stuff
flame,
for,
but yeah, ammunition, magical piercing, good armor protection.
So it means we have another ice point, but we can't. We don't have enough to buy.
So you're like the sniper. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep our screamers. We got our giant cock.
You need to just join my side. You're gonna get killed. I hate when the AI does this.
So then that goes into this army. He's got all the horrors. We're gonna delete you. We are because this gives you explosive. Yeah, he's split into brimstone, or this splits into blue.
How is that even adding up? Maybe because he's still too low of a flat number. Well, hopefully you don't die before then. Anyways, Volksgrad is ours. Now we have to head back in this next turn. We're going to lose Zavastra, most likely. So terrible. The Streltsies are recruiting. I'm determining on getting rid of this last archer for another one. Probably a good idea, to be fair. Because let's see what the comparison says. Strats, it's doing it again. There we go. So they're just generally better. They have 1 minus melee attack, but that doesn't matter. So we want another Streltz. We need to get the guardsmen in here, man. The guardsmen have to be ready with their ice guns. In this weird reality. Alright, that's as much as I can do this turn. In turn.
Darius, it's your turn.
Just waiting for the seal to show up. Yeah, he might. Although with his college being on finals right now, he might not. He might not show up tonight.
Seal, you gotta fail anyways. You might as well go down to our level.
No. He will succeed. He will be a great robo builder. He will make great robos.
What if he just fails?
Even if they are ultimately to serve their true father and master.
See, just embrace your darker side of your. Embrace your quote Motley Crue. Embrace your wild side.
Okay. Wow, it's already 7:30. It's already been an hour. We've done what?
I've just managed to move my people to my
God, I
capital.
swear we're not getting anything done in this thing anymore. The heck?
Yeah.
What's happening, guys? What's
Hey, Ardot, don't feel bad. You could be like me. In 3 turns, you could have, in an hour, you just could have moved your characters to your capital. No big deal.
I mean, I haven't moved any. To be fair, that's still something. I want to point out the most the Queen has done until the puss bag decided, join wars against defensive alliance. I'll take it.
As you say.
Yeah, I will take it.
So, Ardot, how does it feel to be a politician?
And it's like, well, in this case, the Empire is doing better than we are. So
Because the cow
you have to
front
weigh
seats-
the odds where they are. Wait, you have to hit the ball where it lies.
Good point. Fuck, I forgot about my golf match.
And what James is most of the time is often some left field on a different course that's separate from the course he's supposed to be on.
But I get it better. I still get it in on the greening too. So fuck you. And you could put, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to do that. And I go, yes, because that's where it goes.
I wonder what this is gonna make the Nurgle AI do now, because now he's at war with Darius too. So that means his home capitals are in danger now. So it's like, are you gonna commit to keep?
Can I
pushing
declare
me?
war on him? I want to fight the green puss. I'm at war with his
Well,
son, and I don't
you-
fight him, and he keeps
I mean,
wanting
if
peace
you
with
knew
me.
him, you could.
I know Darius.
Well, we're not at war with Darius. We're at war with Festus.
No, I know that Darius could, slide me a 20 and I'll help it.
I took one of his main cities with a throwaway. Yeah, see, he's in trouble. This is what the AI kind of commits to wholeheartedly into, I think, sometimes. Where it goes off in these weird-ass, vast directions. Several settlements away from their main, what is really important to them. Because he didn't have Keppelberg at first. He took that back. But I can see, now that I have a defensive alliance, you can see Darius has cut a hole straight in and down his middle. Darius now has Tappelheim, and Hergig.
Tappelheim.
And Hergig over here with Claude. And also,
And
I want to point out, ironically, a reincarnation of Ulrich, who's working for the Lady of Guns, is over here near Crundenwald with a 20 stack. So,
Shadow hunt down the rat which vanished.
so this is a fresh sight to see. The Wood Elves over here are still alive. Also,
Darius, you're not doing your duty as the Empire by killing the Wood Elves.
Also, the gun lady somehow. How in the world did Elspeth end up with the black pit of the orcs?
Joke question.
Huh.
That lady, when
Anyways,
her hair's on fire, she gets to do whatever she
was
wants.
upset. She took that turn
Someone
10.
hurt her greatly.
What? What?
What
She
happened?
go north. She took that turn 10. Basically ignoring the vampires.
She must have been angry.
Well, it's like she must have really just hated orcs that day, because it's like, you have a shitload of vampires to yourself, my lady. Maybe not now, but you did. Oops.
Yeah, but no, she's like, nah, we need to focus on those goddamn orcs.
Hey, let's look at that. Well, are the vampires still down there with her? They're not. So, that's some magical shit. I would have not... See, here's the other thing about the AI that sometimes makes me mad. Why does the AI get to go off and do these tangents and doesn't lose its entire empire? If I did that with Elspeth, the vampires had taken my head. They would have sent a full 220 stacks to take, what's it called? Her main city. Nome. The city of gnomes.
The city of none.
Oh. AI cheats, man. I love it. On campaign map, though. It's better in melee. Or manual. Wrong word. It's better in manual. I love it in manual now. It's a lot smarter. Doesn't just throw its units away, but it also just doesn't sit there either. Even in siege battles, it's a little bit faster now because they don't run away and hide like 3 units in some offshoot in the corner of the room to be annoying. They will attack. So, which is good. Hopefully more improvements will come to the AI on the campaign map, because that's probably, in my opinion, the thing that needs to love the most now. Is how the AI handles itself on the campaign map, because it behaves like a crazy Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, that no one knows what the hell's going to happen next.
I know what happens. No, I created it. So no.
Hi, Throt! Fuck? You declare war on me?
Peace.
He wants a non-aggression! See, these are the moments. This is a perfect example. As much as it's like, okay, I get it. Okay? The AI is like, well, you're the least person who hates me, because you haven't been attacking me. So it's coming to me. Although I'm a negative 145 with him still, so it can't be by much compared to anyone else. So... he's dead in the water against Arbol. I just don't understand. I'm declining this because only a psycho would accept that. Because that would hurt me more than helping him. Like, that immediately would turn the orthodoxy right back on me again. Even though that Throt is basically dead. And this is a pity piece, as they would call it. For a dying rat. But it doesn't seem... Oh my god. Can you see my stream, chat? Wow.
Did Throt win?
No. It's I'm looking at the settlement battle of Nurgle attacking Zavastra as I predicted. Yeah, it shouldn't say that. So this shows why comp is important on many levels. Because if this is winning, that means the queen can raffle stomp this. He attacked you and ignored my blitz through his territory. He did. But here's the funny thing that's even worse. This auto-resolve is a valiant defeat. Now, I didn't bring the second 20 stack. That's probably contributing. But the fact that this 120 stack has full health, and that this Norskin that's coming with it that's permanently dying because clearly it lost its settlement, its home city, so it's attritioning until there's nothing left. And this is a valiant defeat. That means majority of this first stack for Nurgle is going to get heavily fucking wounded. This actually might have worked out better than that. I actually don't know if I could do better than what the AI is probably going to do here. I was going to fight this if it was worse, like if it was more of a close defeat. I was going to pull it to a valiant defeat to do as much damage as I could. But overall, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just going to roll the dice and see what it kills and what it doesn't kill. Now, would I actually kill whole units? That's where the difference is with me and the AI. What's most likely going to happen, most of the Norskins are probably going to die, like full out, because they're already at half health. And then most likely majority of these units are going to drop to half health. But they're going to do it across the board because it does it mathematically. It doesn't actually fight a manual battle. When you do auto-resolve, it just looks at the numbers and distributes it evenly. So, I'm taking that. Holy shit, it was worse than I thought for them. Wow. Nurgle's fucked. I just won. I just fucking won. I lost the settlement, but I fucking won. So, I remember what I said. Majority of the Norskins are gonna die. Now, ironically, they actually lived.
They lived?
Only 4 of their units, no, 5, died. Completely.
Wow.
Nurgle lost 8.
Wow.
So the actual Nurgle unit lost more. Huh. And only Festus has proper Marauders of Nurgle. And even then, they're still just tier 1, tier 2s. They're not tier 3s. If that shit couldn't beat a bunch of regular Cassars in a freaking garrison, do you think they're gonna beat my armor Cassars and Zargard and Ice Queens? The Icy Sisters of Battle?
Rome succeeded in his war. There's an immediate rebellion.
So
Oh,
yeah,
Castle
we got
Breton.
this. We might not get to fight the manual tonight. It's already too late. Like, I actually have to end this soon. Because it's 7:42. But that's a good start. I think this is gonna be our proper part 1. I'm gonna delete the other one. Rename this one back to what it should be. Give it part 1, and we're gonna do a part 2 to this. Because I'm gonna call this slowing the infection, as I have been. Because that's kind of what we just did. We slowed it enough to deter it, so now we can purge it. Now, the only thing that could be real shitty right now, it could really turn this back against me, is if Arbol gets uppity right fucking now. Because if he does, then I'm a little bit in a weird spot, because the Queen has to stay up at Prague to defend Prague. Or I have to let Prague go again, let him fight that, and we all just fight everything at Kislev. Because it's our strongest city. Which could be, it is a strat. So, I can kill the rest of Festus. Well, he's still pushing me. The irony is, even though you are beating him, actually, hold on, wait a minute, did he retreat? He retreated Egram. Egram's heading for Darius. Where's Festus? Wait, Festus is heading over here towards Wolfenburg. Where are you going? So I'm not sure where I think Festus is also retreating. So we might have this. If the Queen can come down here, we can slap Zevestra right back up. Take it right back. Hardly any damage done. Tomato, boom, boom, done. And then we wipe out anything else. Might be the manual battle I do, because it looks like Festus might go get killed by Darius. So if that's the case, I'll just fight the manual at Zavastra when the time comes. Assuming that army is still there and doesn't try to go back and save its homeland as well. So this might have given Kislev a little bit of boost in its territory finally against the forces of chaos.
I've got my first point here.
And as I look into the north and see that my orthodoxy brother has been swallowed by yet another tentacle.
Give me 1, 2, 3.
He's got 3 settlements left.
7,
Hopefully that Confederacy
9,
thing
10.
will go up real fast.
I'll get 2 of those.
I don't care about the settlements right now. I can reclaim them from the Slanesh tentacle boy. I can get those back if I survive all the chaos against Arbol and Festus. No offense to him. If I survive both of these two, he is not going to be a challenge at all. So he'll be easy. I've played as Azio, and
Hi,
he's
Darius.
terrible.
Hey, Darius, there's a free meat behind you if you want to kill Labs.
We've got here, listen to this. I love this. And I love that these new events for Kislev reflect the infection and kind of chaos that you're trying to purge. I'm going to read this out loud. The horrified farmers of Prague have awoken to find every ear of grain bears a miniaturized face of a lowing beast, and that their cattle are now blank, faceless nightmares with vile mutations and afflictions and diseases curse the city once more. My options are allow farming to continue. This will give me which we don't want this, not with Kislev. Not unless you had to do this and you needed the winds of magic right now. This will give me chaos, undivided corruption for all provinces for +2 for 5 turns. We don't want that. and it'll give me Winds of Magic Power Reserve +2 per turn. All armies for 5 turns. That's not really worth it. We already get a lot of magic Winds of Magic with the way I build them, so no. We can burn it all, which is, that sounds like the sister response, which is -5 corruption in all provinces for 5 turns. Or we could just get some random common weapon, it looks like. Let's see. The Warrior's Bane. What passive is this? Well, it's got a cool hex. It's a good. That'd be a good hex for my my other battle sister that's helping the guardsmen. To hex the people around her, kind of like the Queen is doing. Do I want that or do I want to burn it all? I don't think corruption is going to be a problem. We cleanse corruption like a son of a bitch. So,
No, you need the corruption.
I'm going to find the source. Let's get a weapon for our other Ice Maiden. Okay. Trait gained. Warrior's Bane gained. Okay. Just as life is bad when the Skaven are asking for peace. Yeah, very. Considering they don't know
Darius,
what
you
that
get
is
some free
most of the
XP
time.
behind you. Do you see it, Darius? Oh, so you got Theodore. Nice to know, Darius.
Alright,
You
just
got
go
armor
in the prop because I don't
spearmen,
want you to... That's
death jacks, handgunners. Hey, you got one of... Hey, you're right, Scott. I love away. Well done, Darius.
Alright. The Streltsier here. So here's what I'm going to do with this army right now. They're probably going to run, but we're going to try it. Let's attack the reserve Norscan army outside of Kislev. Yep, decisive. Auto-resolve that. That is not going to be a fight. And as I thought, it was not. The Streltsy they took no damage! They got like 30 to 40 kills almost each. This one was closest to 30. These were closer to lower 30, like lower or higher 28. Wow. Although our little wolf guys with the arrows got 46, so good on them. Damn. Alright, so... Campaign movement speed and devotion. Because we want chaos corruption to be just absolutely wiped out. Enemy killed in battle. Faction destroyed. That Norscan is dead. So what's the corruption going down at now? Woo! Oh my god, I've gotten corruption up to freaking -30 almost per turn. The red and the red and the green is disappearing so fast. I get back in Kislev with my friends. Alright. Our little dude here is leveling up nicely. Our Inquisitor lead, our Inquisitor lead, what is this? Is for torchbearers. I don't have Sons of Urson or anything like that in this army. Not yet. I actually am thinking about getting some of those for him at some point. But Monster Hunter, yes, bonus versus large for him. More missile strength. Let's get Iron Discipline. Let's start working on beefing his units. Okay. Now for our priest, we want Urson's Roar cooldown. Since he kind of behaves like our battle priest that the Empire gets, that's what our Patriarch is kind of like. He's got all these buffs that do different things. Like, look at this. I can basically give an ability where my dudes never lose vigor.
Perfect vigor.
Basically, but it's restoring it too. So whatever they lost,
That's
they get it
even
back.
dangerous.
It's like, or I can just give an ability that just lets him bless an entire area with +25 flat melee attack. Or I can have him... You can only pick one of these spells, just like the warrior... the battle priests of the Empire. Or I can have him just heal people in an area. I actually think Vigor. Now knowing what Vigor does for this type of army, now I'm kind of thinking of what we do, or at least for the Guardsman army. Because they're working with units that are technically not as beefy and probably don't have as much vigor to play with. That actually might be a good call for this. And also shooting. It means that the shooters will never not hit as hard as they can hit. Ever. So it makes our guns real scary. So I'm gonna go with that. That's the Song of the Winter Sunlight. And then for our Battle Frost sister here, she's our lady who's helping this, who's our kind of our melee lead over here. I should put one sister unit in here just to back her up, which I will eventually, but... Oh, she gets Heart of the Winter? Dear Jesus. And Crystal Sanctuary. Wow. They cannot move, but they gain... Here's the funny thing. If they're in battle, that's actually okay. Because they're not gonna move while they're fighting. This gives damage resistance plus 60%. Let's get both of these. Because Heart of the Winter basically freezes them slowly over time. And they can't move hardly. They attack slower over time. The damage builds up more and more as they freeze more and more. It's a crazy skill. Especially at higher ranks. And I'm glad she ended up with
Oh,
that.
you should get that free XP behind you. Just you know, free XP.
So, let's see. Are there any things up here? I doubt there's anything we can recruit up here for her lady now. For the lady. We're waiting for all
Darius.
of these. No, me. I'm still on my turn. We're waiting for that regiment of renown. So when do I get... Is there a Frost Maiden? Well, not Frost Maiden, Ice Guard Regiment of Renown? There's not. That's kind of sad. So it would be the bear. There's a Zargard one. Some things in the woods. Armored Corsairs. Streltsies. Yeah, the Akashinas, aka the Wolfhearts. It's kind of weird that there's... I will say the sister side of things in this fantasy side of things, since they do have some factions that are kind of similar to the sisters in 40k, gets ignored quite hard. Alright, so... I should probably upgrade Kislev. Let's make Kislev more cheap to build stuff
Let's make
for.
Kislev great again.
And also give it more growth so it'll go to the next tier soon. And become even more stupid. And you do kind of have to treat Kislev as your like bastion against chaos if things get really bad, or you'll see what happened to me almost happening. Yeah, negative 43. Yeah, you're losing to Aziel and have no forces left. Another thing is, I still think Confederacy is still too stupid in my opinion. I still think it's too hard for Kislev to easily do this before something kills him. Especially since you start at odds because of your automatic Malachi treaty. So, kind of weird. It's in one more turn on my end. This is my last turn. We won't be able to fight Zavastra till next episode on my end. I'm gonna go ahead and start moving the guardsman unit up to attack, but...
Yeah.
Ardnar, do you think an RTS in the Gundam universe can work? Ooh, actually yes, technically.
Ooh, I would work really well.
That would be really fun, actually. There'd be some things that would be a little weird. It would take a while probably to iron out the kinks. However, I do think it would work just in general, especially a certain era. We all know which one I'm talking about. There's only one era that would be the easiest, most safest bet to create a strategy game based around it. And that is the era, the greatest era of them all. The one where
With Zoc wins.
See, James was gonna chime in eventually. The one where he loses?
No, the one where he goddamn wins against that cheating bastard.
We need a manual. Alright, I'll do your manual. We'll do your manual then. Although it's...
Hey,
Yeah,
you
this
get rid of my problem, Darius.
Why
Thank you,
are
man.
you attack? What is going on with this? What? Why are you attacking French people?
That the French rebel.
I mean, I guess you are the Germans technically, but...
Oof. Right in the history. You know, I approve of it though. Can I be honest? Where he's attacking it,
Oh, but
that may or may not be near me.
Oh. Well, back to the real statement of Zoc dying and the 1 year war.
Hey, hey, hey! Don't you insult our great leader like that. I will blast you.
Oh god. Oh god, I'm dying. Oh, I laughed while trying to take a drink. Or Pepsi. Holy crap. But yeah, realistically, the 1 year war, or the year of our great RX-78.
No, the great that cheated bastard that, you know, cheats his way to victory. Oh, look at me, look at her bag. You're not supposed to die, but you died.
But it's like,
cheats.
it's like, it'd be a great
There's situations
strategy.
he should not have survived, but you know, you're being stupid.
And technically Thunderbolt. Also, I will say one other thing that's kind of funny, because me and Farsi are talking about this. People do forget. Do you know Thunderbolt exists in the same timeline as RX-78, right?
Why?
They're both at the same time. So it makes you even realize how many Gundams really were made. The Federation was full of shit. They were like, we only have a few prototypes, yet there's Armored Gundam, Thunderbolt Gundam, what was that Gun Tank Gundam, the one that looked like Gun Cannon, but was a Gundam. I don't remember his name. But that one, and then... I sent one.
Figure.
And I sent one to James that was stolen by Xeon, technically, that I forgot about. That Shard never got, which is in Battle Operations too, which shows you even more weirdness in some of the lore I'm learning about of certain series that go on during the same time as RX-78, essentially, and just makes me go, but why? But why would he not? How would he not know about this? He made a Zaku go as fast as a Gundam. Could you imagine if he had this?
Was it was it a Goku or was it a?
Well, no, it's an actual Gundam. It's called Red Gundam. The name's not even holding anything back as hilariousness. I posted it on the Guardian or PSN Guardian, and I sent it to you as well on PSN.
Did you?
Yeah, I sent you a picture of BO2's Battle Operation 2's announcement.
Oh, that's what that was, really?
Yeah, and remember I said the Gundam Char which he always had. And what's funny is he could have. It's in the universe. And I'm like, And if you look at how this thing plays, it is literally, what will you get? It's a what if kind of way of thinking, Xeon based. If you took Sazabi and you combined it with the meta, the thing that killed the Zoc.
The Zoc should have literally survived that. He should have like got shot by that and gone, yeah, it should have, you know, either it should have not gone through, not offended. Should have either
all of the French people.
It should have because he was bit. Because I want to point out, the Zoc was made to fight battleships, right? Battleship types, so bigger than a Gundam.
Yeah, well, that's
Yet for some reason, just so small little shithead
Well,
decides to go, no, I can kill it.
well, here's my thing. Once again, I want to point something else. It is logical, but only in one scenario. Which that's not what the scenario was, so that's why I can't give it credit. Technically, Gundam, or RX-78, its battle rifle, or a little buster, little beam rifle, is technically geared to kill battleships. So technically, it should be able to kill Zoc, but here's the thing I'm not saying, and that did not get taken into consideration during that fight. He would also have to fully charge it. This means he'd have to sit there. In real life, roughly, anime terms, it's faster because anime. But, because, you know, they have to do that. It's a show. Wouldn't be entertaining if you had to sit there for real life 10 minutes. Just watching him do the Dragon Ball. That kind of thing. That's essentially what it would be if Gundam didn't speed that shit up. That's at least kudos on them from a development standpoint. But, technically, it would take about 10 minutes to charge that bitch. To be able to do the shot that would have killed the Zoc like that. Now, would he whittle the armor down with repeated shots? Yes. Which my thing is, I don't know why that wasn't what he did. And I do know why. Because plot. Because they needed him to fight Char. My issue with the series, and this is something that just Gundam has a problem with in general, and I love it. I both love it for this, but also hate it. Because as a Slaanesh, I do like some dramas. I watch them from time to time. Not too many, but I do. But the issue is, with a lot of Gundam series, and I'm not fronting, and I'm being completely honest, when it comes to the development of Gundam, and there's nothing
She's
wrong.
running away from you, Darius. Get her! Get her, Darius!
And there's nothing wrong with what I'm about to say. It's just, I guess the double-edged sword is, it also affects other parts of the development process that kind of hurt it, which is, all of it is just a bro.
Well done, Darius.
And I mean this in a kind way. Like, I actually do enjoy the story. It's just, I think it took precedence too much over certain other things that would have filled in the universe better and made more sense. Much like I have certain problems with Warhammer and how it has weird loosey-gooseys just because. And it's the bromance between Char and Amuro. That's what it is. We're going to call it what it is. It's a great show. It always will be. I love Gundam. But it is a bro drama. It's a kind of a soap opera between two pilots. That's going back and forth in their beliefs and what they think and their livelihoods and what they're experiencing and do. So it's more of a K-pop kind of Japanese animated soap opera, kind of, but with giant robots in action, which is probably why I like it. Yeah. But it's why I like it as more of a drama from my Slaanesh side, and it fits both sides. But I do think sometimes during the show that Char and Amuro did not need to be the freaking main piece of the whole thing. I think there were certain points that Amuro should have had to fight other people. Char the same. Should have had to fight random Federation leader dudes and other models of different mobile suits that might have been experimental. They wouldn't have been as good as Amuro, sure, and he would have killed them reasonably fast, just the same as Amuro would have done Zoc. But Zoc would have got a fight. Like, would have had a whole segment of Amuro blasting him and dodging and blasting him, whittling the armor down a shot at a time till it's weak enough to get the sword in there and fully destroy him. Which would have been more tactically make sense from the specs of both mobile suits. Since Amuro also didn't use... Because here's the other thing. RX-78 has more than one weapon. Yet they also seem to, no offense, simp a little bit about the beam rifle. And I get it, it is its prototype main weapon. But it also has, a rocket launcher.
Yeah, many people forget about
that. So it's... Oh no?
What do you mean, what the hell?
Huh? Is that the audio cues in the game? Freaked me out.
Wait, what were you freaking out?
Someone's talking, I don't know who it was. It was a Kislevian, I think.
Yeah, it's Kislevian.
Yeah, but I've never heard them say these voice lines, so I thought it was literally legitimately someone else.
Arnold, you're freaking
Oh no,
out.
wait, it's Darius moving his people, I think. It is. It's Darius moving his in. That's why it doesn't sound right. And it sounds like it's off on the side, like behind me. It's because my 3D audio on my headset hears Darius's units moving to my bottom left. That is off screen. That's weird. That's cool though. Weird for an RTS to do that. Like why?
No,
would
it's
you
not
need-
weird, Arnold. It's not weird. It's the most blissful thing ever.
But 4-Armor Gundam has weaponry to kill the Zok. Who would have fought? And that's another thing. 4-Armor Gundam was there at Jaburo. Why did he not fight Zok? He has ballistic weaponry which would have pinned the armor more. Armor-piercing cannon rounds. That's kind of what he's known for. So, why did he not fight him? And this is my issue with that, too. It's like I said, there are other models of RX that were existing in that universe that got really underchanged or had to be put in a completely different show but takes place in the same timeline. Uh-oh, this is bad. I guess we're getting one more manual. I guess we're getting one more manual. Somebody got a little jumpity and probably got away from Carl a little too far. This isn't a great Nurgle army, to be fair, but it's just because his army isn't great either. It's like both of these are about even in the Stevens of the, alright, nothing's really impressive. Although I really wasn't trying to do another manual.
Testicles?
I was kind of hoping you would not have to do two. But, well, let's get this going, because I gotta end this. We gotta end this quick. Victory or defeat?
These are my cheapies.
No.
And he's brought expensive stuff.
Well, victory or death? Because we need to do this fast.
Yeah, he's got expiry champion.
Well, we need to do this fast. He's only got really 2 really good units. The rest are just tons of marauders.
Yeah, I agree. Marauders suck.
But then again, Darius's cheapies also only have just, spearmen and some
Which are
what's it
good.
called? Flagellants. Flagellants. How is this a
Testicles a lot.
Hold on. How is this a Valiant? What 2 armies are coming in that are so terribly screwed? This is a Valiant defeat. There's 3
No one knows
armies
that, no.
coming into this. Anyways, but after this we gotta end it. Real talk though, it's an 8:09.
God needs feeding and
If I didn't have to use the camera to kind of show chat the manual so they can enjoy the manual, I'd actually might go and let her know to do food now, so it can be started while I'm ending the stream. Look at this beast of beautiful terribleness, as Nurgle would say.
And the fat bastard.
Look at this. James's ex-wife has seen better days.
She's not my wife. Sorry, it's not my wife.
She's really
does not
she's
deserve
really
it.
got much. She hasn't got much better since Path of Exiles 2.
And I expect that from a Nurgle. And I expect that.
Y'all know what that's a reference to when we were playing PoE 2 with a certain temple battle and bots.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt I can make it the joke over. I go, hey, it's your wife. I'm like, it's not. I hate it.
Totally
They're the
James's wife.
snow runner of my existence. They will die, and they will die. It's dead to me.
Well, you said you liked a challenge, Joe. Nothing's more
No, I
challenging
don't.
than
I know.
conquering
No, being a
Nurgle wife.
being Nurgle's not challenging. It's go, oh, come here, let me just hug you for some plague. There you go. You've now infected her. It's not a challenge.
Oh,
It's just
man.
because they're just annoying. They're just really friendly with fucking everyone. You're not surprised Darius hasn't played them yet because they really like everyone. And they hate me. They're sitting at the top waiting. You're shifting. So let's count. I'm gonna count my units are large or medium. Yeah, that's small. Small. That's much of small. 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 60. These are small. These are small. Small.
Well, the AI
Small.
is just sitting there for some reason again. Isn't it supposed to be more aggressive?
That's a beast of Nurgle,
I
which
guess
is
he
the
is
largest.
attacking, but I don't know. Fun fact: the wounded army is a call to aid army. Huh. I mean that's
Oh,
good.
that makes a lot of sense.
I mean that's good, but I'm just trying to figure out like how this is affecting. They only have marauders. My brain's trying to go wrap my brain around. How is this killing everything? Oh, okay, it's these. Oh, these I missed. Ah, so this is what's carrying him. Nothing else. Maybe the Beast of Nurgle slightly, but yeah, okay, I see those angry boys. So he did get some Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. Or at least dual weapon. I think these are regular Chaos Warriors actually. They're not technically Nurgle Chaos
Great
Warriors.
Chaos Weapons of Nurgle, great weapons.
Does he have any actual Nurgle versions, or are they just regular Chaos Warriors? Marauders. Oh, he has some Pestigores. Okay, that's at least somewhat unique. He's got infected Pestigores. Okay, that's something.
Just spawn of Nurgle.
And then, of course, the Aspiring Champions, but once again, neutral. It's so weird when you see that. Ah, yes, and the one Nurgle. Okay, I see what Darius means. Yeah, the one Nurgle Great Weapon unit. The one he actually
Armor
transformed.
piercing.
It's funny because you know what's crazy? If all of these dual weapon Chaos Warriors on the opposite end of this line were all Nurgle, this actually might be worse than a Valiant because of the tankiness they would gain. Like if you're gonna be Nurgle, be Nurgle. The point of being Nurgle is you can't die hardly. The tankiness on any of their units is just stupid. I guess you're gonna have to push. I thought the AI was programmed to be a slight bit more aggressive than this. The cannon actually isn't doing a lot to them. This is the cheapy army though, so it's not gonna have all the buffs. There they go. There was a second red Zaku Xeon had. I forgot the name of it. Yeah, that was Johnny Ridden. That was Johnny Ridden's Zaku. You're talking about oh, what is it actually called? It was a white Zaku too that he was friends with. It had its own series as well, separate from Char. There's a lot to the 1 year war. A lot more than people know. Like a lot. So it would make a great strategy as far as if you had to use any Gundam or pick any Gundam for hell, even a turn-based, because they've had turn-based strategy games of Gundams in the past, but I'm talking about a legit one where you get Zaku's and GMs and things like that, not just, Gundams and big boys and stuff like that. I will say the best turn-based closest thing to strategy is the game we played on the channel where it's all the universes coming together. Gundam Wing, all of it, and you can create your own team of crazy Gundams and turn-based combos. We never did fully finish that, but it was a great game. It got to the point where that game became so much of a grind, but the loop wasn't quite as fun as I think it should have been. The animations were good, but I think it wasn't about them being pretty. It was more about the lack of animations. Every Gundam or Mobile Suit only has about 3 to 4 attacks, and they only have 1 animation per attack. So once you've seen it 500,000 times of each type, it kind of loses its draw. Plus, there wasn't too much roguelike to it. I think it should have been treated like an XCOM game, if you really want my opinion. If it had been a more XCOM-like, it probably have done, like, box office levels of craziness. Just because I think that would have gotten rid of all the issues that I do think it ended up having. But overall, it was still a good game. Like I said, for what it was trying to achieve in its simpleness and it just being a turn-based, collecting the Gundams, making cool squads to play the story and the cinematics, but in a chibi kind of top-down form. That's another thing. Realism, like if it was a strategy game, if I was doing a turn-based game for Gundam like that, I would make it more like XCOM so the units can look a little bit more like closer to Battle Operations units. And now Battle Operation isn't winning any awards either. Its models are pretty cheap and very old for Battle Operations 2. But at least from a turn-based game standpoint, compared to BOE 2, the animations don't need to be as flashy and can be enough to kind of, as long as the XCOM part exists in the gameplay part of the loop and enjoyment of the tactical strategy, I think it would do well. More so with those types of graphics than even BOE 2 does. Because BOE 2 suffers from it being such a fast-paced game, or we expect fast-paced as a hack-and-slash game from Gundams, yet that game is so slow. That's why I just couldn't do it anymore. It's all about just min-maxing your slash, stun, blast, stun, slash, blast, stun, slash. It
was stun operations.
Yes. It's stun lock operations too. Which I get it. That's what the mechanic of the engine is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be the tactical use of landing those heavy shots to capitalize on a full assault. But it's also playing too heavy into the fact, well, you know what also that requires? Good teammates. And the one thing you never want to do in a multiplayer game is force a player's enjoyment to be based on other people in a multiplayer game. It kills it out the gate. Because if you get a bad team, well, there goes the mechanics. Because the mechanics are based on squads communicating, working together to do stun combos and maximizing damage. You can't do that if the team isn't cooperating with each other. And most often not in a rando lobby, this is what's going to happen. So. See, this is what I mean by Nurgle being so insane. So remember what I said, Chad, about if all these dual wielders had been Nurgles, they'd have killed so many more already because they're so tanky. They would just eventually outnumber these guys because these guys are dying before any of them would. These losses we're seeing in these dual wields are because they're neutrals. They don't have as much HP to pull from as a Nurgle unit would. Or the same version of this Chaos Warrior. But, you know, Nurgle blessed. Blessed by the Plague God with stupidity skin that both is nasty, but also somehow hard as hell to completely destroy. Because it just regrows. At least in theory, which is nasty. Darius is doing the right thing, though. Because he's going to take losses no matter what, just with how tanky they can outlast. But he's focusing the units that need to be focused down. He's got one bigger blob with all his better units forcibly winning the fight over here. Just to keep the better shit for them on this side. And then he's got all these mass spam of neutral dual-wielding Chaos Warriors. The Nurgle Beast, the leader, was over here. I know he retreated. He might have died. Oh no, he's over here running. He's running away back here, trying to get away. The Chaos Sorcerer's running away. The Nurgle Sorcerer's like, nope, I'm out of here. how
Very
many...
tired, yeah.
Very tired. Who said that? Oh, you looking at Vicar? Who's very tired?
Yeah. Beast of Nurgle, so means she's gonna have negative stats, yep.
That's what that red means. You know,
So
for
that's
the
tied to be
longest in
bigger.
this game, and did not know what it meant when the stats would drop like that. You know what I thought it was? Forever? I thought that was just some sort of hex. And it maybe that plays into it too, but I thought that was like other characters' hexes or like around them doing that. I never realized Vigor is actually contributing to that.
Yeah, well, think of that. Well, yeah.
It
And
makes
I never
sense.
thought about it, so he explained that for every action your character, these units do, i.e. charging, and he gave an example, so because the base figure is based on a tick, and he gave an example of 10 ticks, it would equal 1 real life second. And if, let's say your character spent a minute charging, for a real minute, for 60 seconds, that's 1 minute tick time, which would calculate to, I think he said 2,400, which would equate to that it would be be active.
Okay.
So
That
if
makes
you get what I
sense.
mean, he explains it more and more better in the video, but it explains that the more actions these units do, the more tired, exhausted
in
they
real
become. Because if you
life,
look at Mr. Nurgle now, he's exhausted, meaning that he's getting
well, now
more,
it's enough.
less and less stats off of him. More,
now
so
it's
he's
deteriorating
fighting
and it's
less
dead.
at his capacity.
So that's interesting. It makes sense. I mean, in real life, if you were tired, you would not be good at fighting. It's like when I try to play Doom when I'm super tired. It don't work. It just don't work.
No. And I'll post it in my
Darius
group
has
chat as well.
won.
If anyone wants to
Good job,
learn
Darius.
about how Vigor works in Warhammer, because for the longest time, I don't think, apart from the people who actually do know how to play it and truly understand it,
I've been playing this for a long time. I didn't even know that. Because I never understood fully what Vigor did. I thought it was just like speed. Or like they get tired and can't march as fast. Or I never knew it was that big of a debuff. Which makes more sense and I appreciate that more. Knowing that now. Also, I've been clearly using that wrong for years.
yeah, I think we
Because
all have.
if I knew that, I now know what I want to build for Slanesh. Because here's
I
another...
think this is why Darius does better overall, because he's using his units more efficiently by using less of the actions of the characters, because some of them
That's
are very
true, because
tired.
he's not sitting. He's not moving towards them and marching around a bunch.
Some of his veteran halberdiers are winded, so some of these have not been moving, some are tired. Most of them are very tired. One's still fresh, which is a fucking amazing.
Well, that
Archers
just
are
shows
exhausted.
it. Well, it makes sense. They sat still the whole fight. The Nurgles came to them. So that's also a disadvantage you have to think about attacking as well. And I hope they play more into this with other stuff in the future with these updates they're going to be doing with the AI. But it does kind of show, like, it makes me kind of want to play, and this is why I want to wait for the update. I don't want to spoil this until the update comes. I might do a test run on my own just for the fun of it, just to see how many perks. I'll have to try each one of them to see which one has anything even close. Because now I want to see what happens if I build Vigor builds with Slanesh. Because the issue with Slanesh is the movement required to flank all the time. Well, now knowing how Vigor works, this is actually makes sense why my Daemonettes, in the beginning part of the fight, will erase entire units. But then halfway through, all of a sudden, sometimes they won't even kill a quarter of one. So it's because they've ran out of energy. Stamina.
You need to be conservative with the stamina after.
So, and as a Slanesh player, my brain's like, wait, this is something they should be good at, though, in my opinion. So we're gonna do some experiments, chat, in the future of going towards this, especially when the next Slanesh character gets released that was confirmed. Or Droka, or whatever her name is. I forget her name.
You know it!
I know it, but I always forget how to say her name. I just call her the Succubus Queen.
I mean, to be fair. To be fair, she doesn't look like a succubus.
Well, she's technically a Gorgon succubus. She's what technically Marathi would turn into years
Every
later.
time I hear the, it should just be over. If every time I hear the word Gorgon, I always think of Wallace saying Gorgonzola. It's not just me, or it's not just because I'm just
I mean, that
really
might
just
be.
not British.
You might just love Gorgonzola. When I hear Gorgon, I think
don't
of
think
Snake
I've ever,
Lady.
I don't think I've ever
Well,
tried
Naga.
Gorgonzola.
Naga's also one. But I guess you could also say a Naga. She's also a Naga. Nagas are snake people as well. A humanoid snake person. It's literally like Gorgon is the original name, which is why I use Gorgon, because that's what people usually remember, because that's what Medusa is. The original Gorgon of myth.
Go to Medusa and say, hey, I eat some cheese because you're going to be my
So-
Gorgonzola.
He killed nobody. I saw that. You did really well. You definitely destroyed
He
that.
did do really well, Darius.
For the fact that, well, I mean, he didn't have proper Nurgle units either, but you, for what you were fighting, you took no full losses. And even if he had proper Nurgle units, and you lost some full units, if you still won, it still would have been a good win. Because you won against something that technically is known for outlasting, even when it's exhausted. Because I want to point out, look how exhausted probably those warriors were, and look how many units they still did kill. And they weren't even Nurgle. So, this is why I don't like dealing with Nurgle units, because they slightly cheat in some ways.
They always cheat.
And it's not about the vigor, although once again, now understanding that, I also now know what to... Hearing that too, this tells me one other thing that I've been doing wrong, and now I understand what perks I want to give them to maximize damage. Cav, also, it really makes sense now why Braytonia is a machine. Because their knights naturally have good ass vigor. This is something they naturally have. Once again, horses. But
Cheating.
But even compared to other Cav, better than theirs. So that's the key. That's what makes Braytonia the better Cav faction of the entire map. Because it's the only faction where their Cav has got such rock hard vigor that they can like do multiple charges without getting tired. And do max damage the whole time. This is why fighting them in the open field also makes more sense that's nightmare fuel. And now knowing mathematically how the auto-resolve sees things, now I can see why maybe when I was playing my Bone Boys, why the French lady boned me quite a few times, pun intended, in the open field, because in the auto-resolve. Because remember we played that one where I was playing Cetra, I think? I don't remember who I was. And we had to fight French lady, and she was actually really painful. We lost quite a lot to her before we came back. Before I got enough units that could kill Cav a little bit easier. And I'm now thinking about why the auto-resolve was so punishing for something that was so only one type of unit. I realize that makes sense now. At least the ones that weren't siege battles, which is those she wasn't winning. Those were the ones I was winning, which makes sense again. Because horses suck with walls. But
Yep.
but as far as like out in the field, lost every auto resolve I ever could have had with her. Now I didn't accept those, I would manual them, and we had some of the best battles we've ever had on this channel with that playthrough. That was probably to this day one of my closest pullback of wins I've ever done on this channel, and I think y'all remember it. I was outnumbered. She had 320 stacks. I had 2 and a small settlement garrison that was wounded, and it was Cetra himself that was one of the 20 stacks in my secondary main. Now I had been building them up quite hard thinking they were going to do great. It was a decisive defeat according to the auto-resolve. I manualed that and won it with a fire-it victory. Now, did we lose a lot of bone, boys? Yeah. But we won, which means that technically, in a manual, and if I had understood vigor, I know what I would have done in that battle. I'd have put my ass in a corner and made her, and I think I did kind of do this accidentally. I don't think I fully did this, but I think I did halfway, even though I didn't understand vigor at that time, commit to a strategy where I was in this weird pincer setup that I made with the armies and the settlement garrison as just filler units to die when they hit the front line, so it didn't waste the charge. So it would basically waste the charge. So the charge would hit the units that are already almost dead instead of full units. So I had this like situation set up where I was kind of backed in this little tree-like area that was kind of cordoned off where they couldn't come in behind me as easily. And if they did, I had spears watching that. And now knowing how it works, also Vlad is talking to somebody. Now knowing how it works,
Totally talking to Darius.
that makes sense why I had a fire at victory and how I pulled that back. I halfway did the strategy that would be required to de-vigor the Cav enough that they're no longer getting full charge power. Like they're no longer charging at full strength. Meaning we can take the charges with our spearmen head on, doing more damage to them than to us. So, now I know that, I'm going to do some different builds here and there with different things now.
Oh, the Astrolord, the White Lion, claimed the Sword of Cain.
Wow. I haven't heard him get it in a
Plant
while.
Strya's performed the Pestilence scheme. That's
That's the wrong pestilence. That's the wrong scheme, but I'll take it. Supposed to perform the one for the Warlock Engineer, but okay. He must still have it alive. Hasn't used it on anything yet. Alright. Once it gets back to my turn, we're ending it though, so don't forget, James, don't take too long. It's already getting late.
I'm taking too long. I'm
And I still gotta
panicking.
eat. Also,
I'm
is that you, Mom,
panicking.
nearby? No, she didn't hear me.
I'm panicking, Anakin. You don't fight.
Yeah,
You want me to
hurry
take a turn? Okay. There you go, done.
Oh, okay.
That's literally all I'm doing.
Alright, well, I'm gonna make
That is
save.
literally all I'm doing.
Hey, siege mentality, even better now. Wow, that dude ran away from Zavastra to help Festus. So I guess Zavastra will be an easy fight next episode.
Sothrael is.
I am gonna go ahead and move the
moving.
guardsmen in that direction, though.
Can we appreciate that the Sothrael's coming to kill? Scary. Yeah. I don't think he has
Upgrade
something to
that.
fight.
Because it'll make Fort Jakova defend itself more, even better as well. We're at that point where we're internalizing so we can push out at a rapid rate. Finally. It was a slow start. But that lucky pull with what happened with the way things went right there is... Ooh, armor piercing goes up for all of my armored corsairs. Pirate weapons. Prague veterans. Litter treatment. Ooh, missile resistance for horses. Chance of plague breed. Do that. This fight's against chaos. Let's do that. Reduces chance of plague. Corn fury, and also makes the seduction budget way lower for Slaanesha's attacking me. Okay. Let's save it.
Yeah.
Saving it now.
Who here wants to be sad? I'm always sad, Darius. Depression is key.
What is this? What am I? Oh. Yeah, that is
I-
very
The
sad.
number of cats.
Yeah, I see
I'm happy seeing
one.
eyes, happy
I
noises.
see one. I don't count the archers. They're not meant to charge. I see one.
I'm happy.
It's no wonder Grom almost killed him if Darius hadn't fought Grom. Holy shit.
I'm happy. Seeing that make me happy. Because I play Grom and I know what a bitch she is to fight.
I mean, he does have dismounted knights, but that's fine. But you know how many non-regular mounted knights, like just footmen, that he's using right now that could be mounted knights as well? If you ain't got Cav, you ain't Bretonia. It's literally their only real. They're Rohan. Come on.
The
Riders-
Gohan.
Riders of Rohan. Anyways, let me make sure I saved it so we can quit.
No, you
Yeah,
haven't.
I did. No, I did. It's saved.
No, you didn't.
So
Yeah, I
y'all
did.
can
It's
X out. I hope not. Or we'll be not finishing this. If that were the
Otherwise,
case.
that would be start again.
I see. I heard they're dropping her in Warhammer India for some reason. Dropping who?
This bitch.
Oh, are you talking about, wait, you talking about region-wise? Talking about Dekla or I can't remember if it's Drekla or Dekla.
That can't.
Yeah, but where would that be? Over there by Cathay? I mean, that wouldn't be India, that'd be China. Who would? Lizardman? Well, no, hold on. This is still during Marathi's, like, before the main corruption took place, right? That might make sense. Slit Snake Lady is in the Warhammer version of India, aka... Huh?
Huh?
Who? Wait, who are you? Wait, what? AKA who?
You know when it's so good, even I don't know what it is. No, Mr. Jaws 5, hi, hello!
Let's see. IND is the name of the region, really? Or Ind?
It's open over in India for some reason. So that's Snake Lady is the warmer version of India, aka IND.
But I'm trying to figure out, like, because I don't remember all my regions, where is this on the map, though? Who is it next to? If the rumor is true. I don't know, I wouldn't give in too much of that. Cathay? That seems a bit strange. That does seem a bit strange. Huh.
Huh.
We'll see, I guess. I mean, I'll take it. It would still be fun, because I don't really care where she
I
is.
bet you will. Bet you like taking it.
Like, I don't care, like, where she's gonna start. South of Cathay. So I see what she means then. There's down there the Lizardman. That's down there. Nakai, whatever his name is. Big boy croc lizard Florida man.
You played him!
Yeah, once.
And you said he was your favorite lizardman.
I mean, he is, but I don't play Lizardman, so what does that say to you? So it's like, yeah, he's the one favorite, while out of the one, the fact I do not play Lizardman.
Also, can we
And
appreciate
the one other Lizardman I play is Skink Lizardman, not actual Lizardman.
Can we appreciate as well that the lizardmen knew what they were doing?
But I gotta get off here either way, but... You see, she will never... she will have to... She will have to go through Warhammer... She will. But part of me wonders if that's on purpose. I mean, knowing what I know about this character's lore later in the fantasy Warhammer. Remember, this is before a lot of things. So, because the Dark Elves are still so prominent on the other side, I could see this making sense that this is before that. Because maybe she hasn't got there, and because I think she's the primary reason Marathi becomes what she becomes. So maybe she hasn't arrived yet. And maybe that's part of her campaign. We'll see what her campaign does. That'll be the biggest thing that will make me go, make or break whether she'll be a fun character or not. Or whether we'll end up having to create our own campaign to roleplay something more fun. But we'll see. Units is also a big thing. I'm scared and eager at the same time to see what they're going to add or not add or make her specialty, if you get my drift. Because I guess my issue is Daemonettes are already Marathi's specialty. So clearly it should be Medusa's. The Medusa unit should be at least one. That'll be the easy take. But what's going to be her infantry is my problem. It's like there needs to be more true sisters of what she comes from, and I'm hoping that's what this is going to introduce. That would represent more units from her faction.
I could see that.
But, you see, Bayard not Marathi is older than her and started Slanesh cults way before her. Yeah, but she wasn't adopted in as a demon. And I don't know if I'd say older because isn't Dekla a demon? Unless her demon self was born after, but even then, that still technically makes her more powerful than Marathi. At least until Marathi made the change and fully gave in to Slanesh and became one as well. When that happened, it's a different story. Then Marathi is the queen of all succubus queens. and Naga queens, or aka Gorgon queens. It's like, so we'll see. I have my high hopes, but I also am slightly worried because of how things have gone with Total War Warhammer in the past, especially the Changeling and other things that have happened. So it's like, I'm hoping they've learned from those mistakes, and we won't have another one of those scenarios kind of crop up. But we'll see. Only time will tell. Let me see what Daria said before we go. She was a high elf who became a daemon. Yeah. That's true. That's right. That's what it was. Which is even more strange. Although I guess you could argue why the starting area also.
The starting elf.
The starting elf.
Santa.
But either way, see, I don't think she's stronger than Marathi, given who killed her in the end times. Yes, but we're talking about the end times. Once again, that's later. We're talking about right now. We're in this game, since Warhammer 3 is technically a prequel to Warhammer 1, which Warhammer 1 is closer to the end times. This means that right now, Marathi's still just a Dark Elf. She may have Slanesh blessings and getting stronger, but she hasn't fully demonized yet. She hasn't fully become the demon she's going to become. A daughter of Slanesh, one could say. But the other one clearly reached it first. And sometimes this is just given happenstance. But we aren't once again talking about end times and later in the timeline. Later in the timeline, the Dark Elves, or what is Slanesh, becomes nightmare fuel because of Marathi and several other characters. But that game doesn't cover that, sadly. Much to my dismay. I would love to have the demon version of Marathi, much more over than, than Dekla. But I'll take it. Like, I'll take Dekla if you do it right. Just because it'll be fun still. But I guess we'll see. Is he actually abandoning Slanesh for Kane? I heard about that, but I still think that abandoning Kane is a strong word for any Dark Eldar. Or abandoning Slanesh is any strong word for any Dark Eldar. Sure, they may worship Kane, and Kane is very much a part of it, which also plays back into one last thing I'll say. to what we said at the beginning of the stream and the theory I had about the Chaos Lords and gods, or demons, especially Khorne and Slaanesh, is that even more kind of plays into what my theory is. It's like, yeah, you may prefer Cain, and you worship Cain, but Slaanesh is permanently a part of you. And ironically, pun intended. And it's like, so that's the mark of Slaanesh curse, technically, if you think about it in general, to anyone who receives it. So, plus Cain doesn't produce as many blood or Gorgons as Slaanesh does overall. But, once again, this is also what made her stronger. Because she worshipped both indirectly. Cain directly, Slaanesh because of happenstance and forced. Because the way Slaanesh works, as we all know, is Slaanesh feeds off the life force of its worshippers. Almost like a leech. Or a succubus. Literally, that's what they do. So, in its own right, you can't escape the purple once you have the purple. And a Gajo don't scream royalty. Yeah, maybe not directly, no. But Slaanesh still wins in the end. Sure, Slaanesh gets failed in that one instance. And even that, some of that's a little bit more... That's where, once again, the Warhammer hammer comes out, and the craziness. Where certain things just go, really though? She could just easily do this and just throw Slaanesh, her goddess/god, into a jail or get it caught into a godlike jail. It's like, those are the things I don't like about the Warhammer story. Those are the things I recognize less, just because that seems silly to me. I mean, sure, I'm not saying it's not canon. It is. But this just seems like she can just do this? It's that same kid logic. How can she just do this out of nowhere? Betrayal or not, and even if she turned back to Cain, it would take forever for her to have enough power to do that. So, yeah. So, I don't know. That's a weird one on that one. I'm going to blame that on weird... Warhammer having weird connections to some things that are not logical. I still think she would be tied to the hip if it was realistic. Especially with what Slaanesh represents. So Age of Sigmar teamed up with God Malekith. I heard about that part in the lore. And Teclis and Tyrion, all of them jumped Slaanesh. But that would be Malekith, though. My thing is, I don't know. This is what I mean by, like, they just write the lore for the sake of the lore. Okay, Slaanesh got jumped. But it's one of those things, and here's another thing I'm going to call out a little bit about Slaanesh design. This would also improve the design away from over-sexualization. I'm not saying that's a bad thing either. I'm not against characters or daemonettes that look like daemonettes and da-da-da-da-da. I'm not one of those, but I will say, if they did want to add more fluff and flavor to Slaanesh that's not, hashtag related to what Slaanesh originally represents, then this would be a good time to kind of bring in, well, what is Slaanesh really? And Slaanesh is suffering. Slaanesh is the degradation of just pure agony and pain and suffrage. So realistically, them jumping Slaanesh, and I don't mean this in a pun way, should make Slaanesh stronger. Because Slaanesh is now suffering, and I mean this in a weird, once again trying to tailor away from this, but in the core essence of what it is, somewhat of a masochist way of looking at it. The more pain you would bring Slaanesh, realistically the more powerful Slaanesh should be. The more it should fight back, the more it should get bad. So, Marathi was the one who lured Slaanesh to the jumping, and even stupid, there was no Slaanesh daemons or keepers of secrets helping Slaanesh. But see, I don't believe all that stuff. Not that you, by the way, I believe you, Farseer. I don't believe all that stuff when Warhammer writes it like that. I don't recognize that. I'm not gonna. That's a lazy story. I just don't. Because there's better ways of writing characters out than that. They may recognize that, but I guarantee you most of the fans, especially fans of Slaanesh, of the real Slaanesh,
God.
not the meme, probably don't agree with that either. Because there's, and it's not just Slaanesh, there's many examples of that in Warhammer, where many characters have just been thrown under the bus for the sake of being thrown under the bus for the moment of whatever advertising they're trying to push. Which I get it, but if you do tasteful selection and advertising, you'll get better results on both sides. Model side, lore attraction to your universe, bringing more people interested in what this is. It's many things. But anyways, that's too much of a thing to talk about. Yeah, but here's the thing. But that's only to the writer's sake, and this is the last thing I want to say on it, since you chimed in on that part too. That's also only from the writer's perspective. Do you know how many people still play with Slaanesh on their tabletop? And still recognize Slaanesh as the only leader of Slaanesh? It's a foolish mentality. All I can blame it on is Warhammer suffering from the same thing Ubisoft suffered from. It's let the wrong types of people get into designing the game, the models, and the lore for the universe. People who do not play this game, do not play the tabletop, do not care about the lore in the universe and what the characters are in it, and come from a much different culture, who have nothing to do with Warhammer. I wholeheartedly believe Warhammer's on its way towards that problem. It's just so big that it hasn't reared its ugly head enough yet. But they'll make a big enough mistake that won't matter either, if that keeps up. So
I need to stretch.
and not even just with Slaanesh, anything. Could even be a Space Marine faction that ends up getting completely boned. Could be literally anybody. But it'll be, when it happens, it'll happen, and it'll be enough, and we'll know, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's been happening to everything, and it's ruining IPs everywhere, because all I'll say is, political stuff never belongs in anything. That's not politics. If it's a video game, if it's a movie, if it's a show, even a book to a certain extent, but books are a little bit more freelance on this and can get and are okay to do this more because books are different. But yeah, just don't do it. Just don't talk. Don't support it. Like, no matter what side you come from, and I'm doing this fair to both. Just don't do that to anybody's products, anybody's IPs. It has no place in it. We're tired of seeing it. We do not care. And that is my take on a certain something that's been going on. But that is what it is. And I do feel like Warhammer, if they don't notch it down a little bit and kind of take it back to the fans, they're going to end up finding out the hard way. Just like Ubisoft thought it would never happen. EA never thought it would happen. And Disney never thought it would happen. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. It's going to end up doing the same thing, sadly, to one of the factions, and then it's going to get slammed and lose majority of its profit. But we'll see when that hammer bammer drops. Let's see, not fantasy or 40k. This is the Age of Sigmar who's doing this. I have heard about that in Age of Sigmar, but once again, that is just the writers. I follow all three, but Khorne is somehow strong enough to fight all the gods, even Zeech and Nurgle at the same time. Freaking time in the Age of Sigmar, so we know that's true too. But that was probably just to sell models. They were probably selling more Khorne models at the time. Who's winning is who's on the market top. That's how Warhammer runs its lore, sadly. That's what causes the issues. It's run by who are they trying to sell right now? And it's a smart decision, at least from business, but if you don't do it right, it's also a terrible decision. So, tomato, I guess. So, But anyways, peace and love to everyone in the chat. Hope y'all enjoyed
Yeah.
watching the stream. Big shout out to Mad Loud Jams for joining in on this tonight. The Kislevian survival against the Chaos Waste and the demons of the Horde continues. We will purge them. We will cleanse the chaos.
Dolores.
Dolores?
I combined Darius and
Dolores.
Dolores together.
Darius, your new name
I
is
went,
Dolores.
I went to say Darius, but my brain went to Dolores, and it came out
Chad,
Dolores.
get on it. Get on that, Chad. Darius' new nickname is Dolores.
Barcia, don't ever let it go.
But anyway, I hope you all enjoy. I hope you all enjoyed. That was actually a cool little nice poke at something as well. But I hope you all enjoyed watching this stream and enjoying the content. I hope you all enjoy it, especially Warhammer. I know Warhammer is very few and far between sometimes, especially with it being multiplayer and you have to kind of organize it together. So, but it's definitely cool. It's definitely cool, pun intended. But we're gonna finish up the winter's coming of freezing these stupid germs in a jar. Come next episode. No context. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, no context photo. Yes, if you ever want to know, figure out what that is, Chad. What is this? You tell me.
I can figure it out. It's not hard to figure out. Shit.
It's like, so you tell me what that is, Chad.
Something of Farsia's collection that you stole.
I'm talking about what it's from, not where he got it from. But
What about where he got it from?
but point being, yeah, what was I gonna say now? Point being, hope y'all enjoyed the chat. Hope y'all enjoyed the stream. The Ice Queen will purge this infection that has grown up in Kislev. And then after that, we have to use our icy strength to put out some fires. And then even weirder after that, we have to use our icy touch to give a bunch of frosty cold showers to a bunch of purple demons. So,
I think Slanesh would like that, you know.
and partially in some ways, yes. Once again, that suffrage part. Freezing would be a suffrage. So, anyways, point being, I hope you all enjoyed watching over the stream. I don't know what I'm saying now. I'm losing my damn mind now. So I hope you all enjoy watching the stream.
He better say enjoy the stream, give it a like if you enjoy it.
Yes, you hit the toes up button. I
And
haven't said that in a while.
you will be streaming another game tomorrow, which I don't know because I can't say it because I can't talk for him. But yeah, you'll see him tomorrow.
Obviously.
For me, you won't see me till Friday.
Okay, that makes
Or
sense.
whenever I get my work sorted out.
Oh yeah, chat, just to warn you, as much as I'm trying to keep, because I'm getting to that point I need to share something that I've figured out, just to warn you, chat, as what James just said, as what James just said, I'm getting a little bit antsy with trying to wait till the second half of the story and where it's deep enough, because I want y'all to experience these codexes we read them, but we didn't really read them. Like, we're not going to read them over again. If you want to hear me read them, like, I'm going to do a synopsis over the ones we're going to see specifically that I'll show, but all the codexes in general, not all of them are important. At least not to what I'm trying to show. So, and then we'll curtail that straight into the DLC, because I think we're good enough now. I think I have learned enough, because I don't think the skills points carry over. I've been trying to look this up and see if it's true, if the DLC counts for beating the base game, or you know what I mean, like beating the base game, getting all the levels, getting all the skill points, the weapon upgrades. I don't think this counts towards the DLC. If it does, then we'll finish the story no matter what. Just because it won't take me that long, to be fair. Some of it we'll do on stream, some of it we'll do off. Like, we're not going to do every mission on stream. I just want to share a little bit of it on this coming, technically tomorrow, since James is not going to be here till Friday. So we're going to try to maybe do that tomorrow. If not, and it doesn't work out, because I've got IRL stuff to take care of, then we'll do blueprints, because it's easier to do when I have busy days. So, but otherwise, it's time, chat. It's time to talk about the elephant in the room and why the Sentinels lost the war against the demons, even with the Maker's help. And it's not as cut and dry as I thought it was. And it's very interesting. So, we'll be talking about that tomorrow, hopefully, depending on how it goes. So, peace and love to everyone. Thank you so much. And until next time, I will see you all in our next one. Bye!